Texarkana Twins, Chandler Robinson. In the outfield for the Victoria Generals, Donaldo Perez. In the outfield for the Acadiana Cane Cutters, Daniel O'Hare. And in the outfield for the Texas Marshals, Jalen Keys. And in the mid-hitter for the East team from the Victoria Generals, Hunter Hearn. And a pitcher from the Acadiana Cane Cutters, Max Page. Pitching as well for Team East of the Victoria Generals, David Worrell. Pitcher for the Texas Marshals, Jose Del Mar. Pitching for the Victoria Generals is Jordan Hackett. Another pitcher from the Victoria Generals, Pedro Garcia. Pitching for the Texarkana Twins, Braden Boyd. Pitching for the Victoria Generals, Garrett Alexander. Pitching for the Texarkana Twins, Billy Vogel. Pitching for the Victoria Generals, Zach Leahy. And pitching from the Acadiana Cane Cutters, Hayden Mars. And now it is time to meet players from Team West, coached by honors pitching coach Brock Ward and John Cannon. At catcher from the Texarkana Twins, Drake Osborne. Catching from the Texas Marshals, Josh Aguilar. At first base from the Brazos Valley of Honors, Thomas Jeffrey. At second base from your Brazos Valley of Honors, Michael Hellman. At second base out of the Acadiana Cane Cutters, Jonathan Ortiz. At shortstop for the Acadiana Cane Cutters, Brady Bell. In the outfield from your Brazos Valley of Honors, John Ridley. In the outfield for the Texas Marshals, Casey Mock. In the outfield from your Brazos Valley of Honors, Dalton Stark. In the outfield from your Brazos Valley of Honors, Jared May. Your designated hitter from the Texarkana Twins, Gunnar Halter. Pitching from the Texarkana Twins, Ben Donald. Pitching from the Texarkana Twins, Trey Jeans. Pitching from the Acadiana Cane Cutters, Justin Damerary. Pitching from Brazos Valley of Honors, Mike Maka. Pitching from the Brazos Valley of Honors, Brandon Ivey. Pitching from the Brazos Valley of Honors, Reed Martin. Pitching from the Texas Marshals, Josh Ponder. And pitching from the Brazos Valley of Honors, Ross Buda. And last and certainly not least, from your 2017 West Team All-Stars from the Acadiana Cane Cutters, Emil Aziz. Ladies and gentlemen, if you will please now rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please now rise. Remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem by Ms. Kim Dooley.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, it proves through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And welcome one and all to Bryan, Texas and Nutrabolt Stadium. A beautiful sight for this year's 2017 TCL All-Star Game. The biggest and brightest stars on display here at the brand new, newly renovated Nutrabolt Stadium. The third time in 11 seasons that this place has hosted the Texas Collegiate League All-Star Game. I'm Kyle Yeomans alongside Nick Laupius. And Nick, this is going to be a fun one. We have the best and the brightest of all the TCL on display tonight. You have the East team and the West team. The East coached by the Victoria Generals. The Generals finishing in second place in the first half of the TCL. And then on the other side, you have the West All-Stars coached and littered with Brazos Valley Bombers, the home squad and the reigning four-time TCL champions on display. But it's really a showcase for these players as individuals. The talent, the showcase is off the charts, and it's going to be a fun one to watch tonight.
Oh, yeah, we saw it with the Home Run Derby just about an hour ago. The very exciting Home Run Derby goes 3 rounds. It's a lot of fun. It actually went into a 4th round. We went to a little bit of overtime. And if that's a sign of things to come, I think it's going to be a great, very exciting night. And like you said, just the talent is off the charts here tonight on the field. For both teams, it could be really exciting to watch.
Yeah, on one side, you have the West All-Stars. They are going to be the home team. And Michael Machma on the mound. Machma coming into this one, his first half, very, very well done. 4-0 record with a 2.16 ERA. And Machma really leading the league in that category. He's been unstoppable so far. Now he's got to go up against some of the best hitters in the TCL. Then on the other side, you have Max Page. Page coming out of the Acadiana Cane Cutters. And Page also with a phenomenal first half coming out of Montgomery, Texas. He's 3-0 with a 2.21 ERA. He's already appeared in, this would be his 12th game of the season if it counted, but 11 appearances in the first half, 7 of those coming in starts. He's already pitched 40 2/3 innings of work and has that 2.21 ERA. Pitching on display, the batters are on display as well.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. Like you said, Mike Machma right now leading the league with wins. Actually, I guess tied for first with Jordan Hackett. Both have 4 wins right now in the TCL. And then Max Page leading the league right now in strikeouts. He has 38. Second behind him is David Rowell with 31. So it's a little bit of a lead there for strikeouts with Max Page. And like you said, it's going to be some phenomenal pitching. And then the hitting, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
And as you saw at home plate just a moment ago, Michael Oros and Brock Ward meeting at the plate. Coach Trey Porras, who is the head coach of the Brazos Valley Bombers, couldn't make it, and Brock Ward will be stepping in his absence. And this is actually Brock Ward's managing debut of sorts, I should say, as he is coming out and making his big debut as a manager. He's doing it in the All-Star Game. So I had a chance to go and talk with head coach Brock Ward of the West All-Stars, and he gave me nothing but great vibes. He said, man, it's a great day to play some baseball, and here come the West All-Stars taking the field as We'll go through their defensive alignment. Starting at third base, you have Connor Scruggs from the Texas Marshals. On the left side of the infield, it's shortstop Casey Mack. On the right side, it's all Bombers. Second base, you have Michael Hellman. First base, Thomas Jeffries. And left to right, it's all Bombers as well. You have John Grimsley in left, Dalton Stark in center, Jared Meng in right. And then on the mound, the big 6'7" righty out of Michigan State, Michael Machma, coming out of a freshman year at Michigan State, where he pitched mainly out of the bullpen, but he's been a starter throughout the season for the Brazos Valley Bombers. Behind the plate, you have Drake Osborne from the Texarkana Twins. Then the DH hitter in Gunnar Halter will lead things off in the bottom of the inning. Let's look at the starting lineup for the East All-Stars. You have Jalen Keys leading things off. Then Glenn McClain following that one. Alex Rodriguez, what a baseball name that is, coming from the Texarkana Twins. Donaldo Perez from the Generals. Daniel Lahair batting fifth. Marshall Skinner from the Generals as well, batting in sixth. Hunter Hearn. And then Dakota Phillips batting eighth. And Jordan Wiley hitting in the 9-hole. It's going to be a great game to watch, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be tough for the defense. It's going to be a lot of balls put into play, I'm expecting today. Like you said, it's going to be some great pitching, but there's also some really good batters at the plate tonight. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a really cool to see how the defense can kind of step up here tonight with all these big-name hitters of the TCL.
And then going off of that, let's look at really the temperature and the weather forecast for today's game. It is a hot one. It's 93 degrees out at the ballpark. It feels like 101. On the turf earlier, they had a temperature gauge, 120 on the temperature gauge. So if you are watching from the ballpark, make sure and stay very, very hydrated throughout your time at Nutrabolt Stadium. Here's the first pitch from Michael Machma. Misses outside, and the fastball makes it 1-0. So Machma on the mound. We talked about the infield, the left side, all Marshals, right side, all Bombers. In the outfield, all Bombers as well. Drake Osborne behind the plate, coming from Texarkana.
Osborne, who's had a couple of solid nights the past few nights against the Texas Marshals, looking to carry that into the All-Star game tonight.
Jalen Keys fouls this one straight back. He also playing for the Texas Marshals. So the way that things have been split up evenly between these two squads, you have the West All-Stars as here's the 2-1 pitch hit high in the right field. Back near the track goes Jared Meng, and the out is made for the first of the inning. But going back to talking about the way these two teams are split up, all of the Victoria Generals are on the East squad, coached by Michael Oros. On the west side of things, you have all of the Bombers, and then right down the middle, split evenly between the remaining three teams in the TCL, all back and forth between the two sides. So you will see teammates playing against teammates if you're talking about the Marshals, the Cane Cutters, and the Twins. Here's a strike call to lead things off to Glenn McClain after the Jalen Keys fly out.
I tell you, the rivalry never ends between the Bombers and Generals, even the All-Star game, not on the same side.
There's a soft ground ball on the right side. Nice play by Thomas Jeffries to get the backhand. Machma takes a spill over at first base. Hopefully he's okay. He's going to take his time getting up. He has a smile on his face, and thank goodness he's okay. You never want to see any of that, especially in an all-star game. But it is going to be a 3-1 put out for out number 2. That'll bring up Alex Rodriguez to the plate.
A scary moment there. If you're a Bombers fan and one of your top pitchers going down, but getting up rather easily, and this is a good hustle from him to get all the way to the first base side in time for out number 2.
So Rodriguez batting third, playing second base today, not in the shortstop or third base side, as one would normally see that name inserted in a lineup. First pitch called strike right down the middle. Nice pitch by Machma. No score here in the top of the first inning. 2 outs on the board. Alex Rodriguez at the plate. Machma misses outside. It's corralled by Osborne. No runners on base. No harm, no foul.
And Rodriguez playing for the Twins. He's only played in about 10 games, I believe, so far for Texarkana. I was around that team the past couple of days, and I really heard that really once he got into that clubhouse, once he got on that team, that's kind of when they started getting hot, and that was kind of the turning point they felt for the first half of the season to end it strong for Texarkana.
Texarkana 1-1 so far in the second half, as the first 2 games have already been played in the second half. Here's a sky-high pop-up on the right side of the infield. Hellman coming forward, and he'll make the easy grab for out number 3. So an easy outing for Michael Machma as he goes 3 up and 3 down And the Brazos Valley Bombers starter has a nice inning. And the West All-Stars have a nice inning as well. Here come the West to the plate and the East out into the field. Let's talk about this East defensive lineup. From left field to right, you have Donaldo Perez in left, Jalen Keys in center, Daniel LaHare in right field, Dakota Phillips playing at third base, Jordan Wiley at short, Alex Rodriguez at second base, Glenn McClain at first, and then behind the plate you have Marshall Skinner from the Generals, and then Hunter Hearn as the DH position. You have Max Page on the mound. We talked about Page already, how he has a 3-0 record and a sub-3 ERA as he's been outstanding for the Cane Cutters so far this season.
38 strikeouts, again, like I mentioned, leading the TCL the first half of the season. It'll be exciting to see what he has on the mound today against some really good hitters.
When you look on the other side, here's the lineup for the West All-Stars, and on paper it's pretty stacked from top to bottom. You have Gunnar Halter leading things off, the Toronto Blue Jays draft pick. And then you have Michael Hellman, the future Texas A&M Aggie, Jared Maying playing at New Mexico. And hitting in the third spot, Casey Mack out of Southern Miss, hitting in the cleanup hole. Mack losing in the championship round of the Home Run Derby just a little bit ago. You have Marshall Skinner coming out with that victory. He's behind the plate for the East All-Stars. Then continuing on, Drake Osborne batting fifth, Thomas Jeffries in sixth. And then John Grimsley batting seventh, Connor Scruggs in the 8-hole. And rounding things off is Dalton Stark coming from Texas A&M Corpus Christi. So a stacked lineup for the East against a stacked pitching staff. Or I should turn that around. Stacked lineup for the West against a stacked pitching staff for the East. Both sides have definitely the offense and defense working for them. Gunnar Halter to lead things off.
You talk about Brock Ward making his managing debut tonight. How nice is that to have this much talent in this stacked lineup for your first I guess your debut, yeah.
It makes it easy, right?
Does also give you pressure to succeed, though. So
Halter to lead things off against Page. Page, of course, coming out of that three-quarter arm slide you can see on the screen. Halter hitting .284 on the young season, or I guess the first half of the season, in 17 games. Scored 17 runs, had 19 hits, had 7 RBIs. He had a trio of doubles and triples. Not normally you see an even number in the 2-bagger and 3-bagger categories. 1-1 pitch. This is low and outside. That'll make it 2-1 to Halter as Page misses the strike zone, but not by much. Page comes to the low set. Here's the leg kick and the delivery, and it's fouled hard off and over the first base dugout. That'll even count at 2 apiece. No score here in the bottom of the first inning. East and the West All-Stars, the 2017 TCL All-Star Game, presented by Game On Sports. As the Brazos Valley Bombers host it. Here's a chopper right back up the middle. It's going to be corralled by Page, and the long underhanded toss is in time to catch the speedy Gunnar Halter for out number 1.
Well, the underhand threw me off there, but
yeah, me too.
Yeah, the pitcher, he's got a strong arm, able to get it there in time, even with the underarm.
You don't normally see a toss halfway down a baseline. That was a long underhand, but did get the job done for Max Page. And here's Michael Hellman hitting in the 2-hole. Hellman was a participant in the Home Run Derby, the one and lone Brazos Valley Bomber. As we'll take this one a high for ball 1-0. But Hellman going to Texas A&M actually ended up showing up late to the Home Run Derby because he had orientation in the Texas A&M athletic department.
School always comes first. It's good to see Hellman taking his education very seriously.
Here's a deep and high fly ball into deep right field and almost to the warning track. And back goes Daniel LaHare, but there is out number 2. So that's the second inning in a row that we've seen a long fly ball from one of these first couple hitters in the right field, but neither one has been able to hang up into the wind and find its way over the fence. That's going to bring up Jared Mang. Mang, ever since joining the Brazos Valley Bombers, had been on fire. and has really taken over the middle of that lineup and been a strong point for head coach Trey Porras and company. And he'll be able to continue that here in the All-Star game. Will be a question. Breaking pitch, called strike right down the middle. So 0-1 the count to Jaron Meng. Meng hounded by his teammates every game for his resemblance to the WWE superstar John Cena. Here's a ground ball on the out, thrown over to first base for the third of an inning. Quick work from Max Page and Michael Mockman as the starters do their job. Let's see what the relievers can do, as we'll see a couple pitching changes in this second inning. Mockman went the 3 up, 3 down, and so did Max Page.
Yeah, it's a good pitching, and against two very solid lineups. A couple of really big hitters at the plate in those first 6 batters, but like you said, Mike Mockman and then Max Page, well, they're showing why they're here and showing why they were the starters tonight. Really keeping the batters off balance and able to locate their pitch on the strike zone, and eventually their defense was able to back them up. Like you said, a couple of long fly balls out there to right field. Hitters just got a little bit underneath that, but a solid pitching performance by the 2 starters tonight.
Yeah, Miguel Asua is going to be the second pitcher in for the West All-Stars, taking his teammate's spot on the mound. And you saw the great crowd here at Nutrabolt Stadium, TCL All-Star Night. We had the Home Run Derby previous to first pitch here. You had Marshall Skinner winning that one over a close battle in overtime against Casey Mack from the Texas Marshals. So the Generals come away with a Home Run Derby crown. And now we have a dance party with Kaboom busting a move on the first baseline. Always love to see Kaboom making the rounds.
It's always great to see him out there, always a fan favorite. And you talked about the Home Run Derby. What a great way to start off this evening. You mentioned going into overtime, a little bit of a wild finish.
How about Jordan Wiley jumping in and having some dance moves as well?
That's what this is all about. It's fun for the fans and it's fun for the players. They get a nice little break. They've had a few days off. They'll get a couple more days off before they get back into the grind. Like you said, like we mentioned before, it's a long season, a lot of games in a short period of time, very compact, so it's great to have a few days off and then have a little bit of fun here tonight. Of course, still going to be competitive. You want to come out with the win on this All-Star game, but with all the festivities going around tonight, it's fun to see the players take full advantage and jump into a little bit of those.
So now up comes Donaldo Perez to lead off the second inning. Perez hitting in the cleanup spot. As he takes this one low for ball 1. Perez coming from the Victoria Generals.
Yeah, Perez already has 3 home runs on the season for the Generals. It's actually in a big tie for second place as Hellman, Kel Ridling, and Perez are all tied up there for second with 3 home runs.
A lot of power in the middle of these lineups, the All-Star game. That's what you usually would see. Like to see a lot of pop from both sides, and then, of course, some of the best talent in all of the TCL on display. 2-0 pitch misses outside as Asua looks to, I guess, just try and paint the corner there. Couldn't do so. 3-0 now the count as Perez is a ball away from taking his free bag. Asua does find the strike zone as fills it up to 3-1.
Asua's been solid for the Bombers since coming in. His first start with the Bombers had a little bit of a shaky start, but quickly was able to find his groove and has really been more of the same for the Bombers so far.
This one misses high for ball 4. Down goes Donaldo Perez, the first base runner for either squad so far, as the first pitchers of the ball game had their way against the All-Star lineup. That'll bring up Daniel LaHare from the Acadiana Cane Cutters. I like those Cane Cutter uniforms with the navy and the camo shoulder pads. coming out of Youngsville, Louisiana. Beautiful Fabacher Field. A called strike from Asua will start things off. Still no score, runner on first, one out, or nobody out, I should say, here in the top of the second inning.
LaHare right now third in the TCL. Batting average has a .344 average for the Cane Cutters first half of the season.
He takes this one inside, actually ended up turning the shoulder. And it is going to be a called strike. So 0-2 now the count as Asua looks to avenge the walk in which he had in the first batter of the inning. You have Donaldo Perez at first, not necessarily a threat to steal. Nobody out in the inning. There's a hard ground ball, fair down the left field line. It should be extra bases. It's going to go all the way to the corner. Perez is going to be held up at third, and it's a nobody out double from Daniel LaHare. There's now runners at second and third and nobody out for Marshall Skinner, the home run derby champion. And just a nice piece of hitting on two strikes. Asua left it inside, and just like that, Daniel LaHare ripped it down the third baseline. There was no way for the third baseman, Connor Scruggs, to get to it.
I'm not sure if he could place the ball any more perfectly than that. Like you said, Connor Scruggs wasn't able to get to it, and then just barely squeezing fair and going all the way into the corner out there in left field. And as you said, for the home run derby champion earlier today at the plate.
And there's a chopper over to first base, corralled by Thomas Jeffries, and the runners will have to stay where they were. So the runners will stay in scoring position. There is the first out of the inning for Asua.
And Jeffries has been solid at first base all year as well. Another play able to pick that off the hop over there on the turf, and just kind of jogging over and getting the big first out for Miguel Asua.
We've talked about Thomas Jeffries before on the Bombers broadcast. He came in as primarily looking to be a defensive first baseman for this squad. Ended up really utilizing the bat, .333 average. And you could see his defense on display in that play. He'll be up in the next inning, batting, or due up in the hole. First pitch misses outside to to Hunter Hearn, excuse me. A couple Generals in a row. We'll see quite a few Victoria Generals in this lineup from top to bottom. Changeup misses outside from Asua. It's 1-0, or 2-0 now, I should say.
And talking about Thomas Jeffries, was originally thought to be a defensive first baseman, was showing off the bat, though. Also shows off the speed for Coach Porras, and the Bombers like to be aggressive on the base pass, and Thomas Jeffries has shown that and has been fairly successful on the base pass all season.
There's a high pop-up on the right side. It's going to make its way foul and into the bleachers off and to the right. The bleachers that are not quite done yet, but I can assure you when they are done here in Nutribullet, it's going to be a magnificent bleacher section out in the right field bullpen.
And already looking very nice out there. Not done yet, but like you said, when it will be finished, be one of the nicer parts of the ballpark.
So 2-1 now, the count to Hunter Hearn. There's a pitch from Asua, and this one's fouled off as well. This one going back to the railroad tracks, backing off to our right. Still haven't heard the 8 o'clock locomotive come by just yet, but the night is still young. Top of the second inning, runners on second and third. One out. Miguel Asua on the mound, Hunter Hearn at the dish. Hearn with that very upward stance. He's going to hit a ground ball to second base, corralled by Hellman. The run will score, but the out is made for out number 2. So the first run crosses the plate, and it belongs to the East All-Stars. Daniel LaHare will move to third base on the ground ball, and Hunter Hearn with an early RBI.
That was a nice play by Hellman, able to get in front of that ball. Had to take a couple of steps over to his left, but gets the second out. The East All-Stars do strike first.
There's a big swing and a miss from Dakota Phillips. Phillips hitting from the left side, one of the few lefties on this East starting lineup. Wearing the shin guard on that right leg. There's a foul, or a ball making its way in from the left field bullpen.
And we've seen that a few times this season from both bullpens, actually. One on the third base side, a few over on the first base side. Have to be vigilant at all times when playing baseball.
So Asua on the mound, working out of the stretch with the runner at third base. 2 outs in the inning, 1-0. The East All-Stars lead it, and there's a called strike. 0-1. Of course, looking at the geographic way of splitting up teams, not necessarily the East and West All-Stars. I guess if you want to classify it, the East would have been maybe, I guess, Texas Marshals, Brazos Valley Bombers. Here's a big strike 3 from Miguel Asua. And only 1 run will cross the plate after having the double from Daniel LaHare to make it runners at second and third and nobody out in the inning. Only 1 does come across the score, but kind of going back to the way that things are split up, if you look at really geographically, the East All-Stars would be probably the Texas Marshals, maybe the Brazos Valley Bombers, and then you look at the West, or no, the West would be the Texas Marshals and Brazos Valley Bombers, and the East would be
the
Generals, Cane Cutters.
The Generals are more West.
I guess they would, wouldn't
I think I'd like your idea of maybe Texas Marshals, Texarkana Twins, and then the Cane Cutters being the East, and then... Well, it's weird with an odd number of
I don't know
teams.
about that one. I don't know where you're going with that.
Well, I don't know.
I do want to dub the matchup between the Marshals and the Twins the Battle for the North.
There we go.
Because, I mean, they're the most northern teams in the league. So, by quite a bit, actually. Victoria's quite a ways south. You have the Cane Cutters in Louisiana, and then you have the Bombers who are kind of in the middle of it all. But why not dub it the Battle of the North?
Yeah, I like that one, but...
Battle for the North.
Yeah, and with the East-West alignment, it's a little bit difficult with only 5 teams, but I think maybe Texarkana and then Acadiana definitely in the East. But I'm not sure if you want a 3, if you want 3 in the West, but we'll see.
It'd be interesting to see how they would split it up with the 5 teams in the TCL. New pitcher on the mound, though, for the East All-Stars is... There will be a new pitcher every single time out. David Worrell out of Helotes, Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And out of the Southland Conference, the sophomore, very familiar head coach Trey Porras of the Brazos Valley Bombers. And Coach Porras listening. Hopefully we're doing you a good job. Hopefully we're holding our own here. Thank you, everybody, for listening here on this live stream of the 2017 TCL All-Star Game, brought to you by Game On Sports. And I'm Kyle Yeomans alongside Nick Laupius. 1-0 our score as we head to the bottom of the second inning. The East All-Stars lead it.
Yeah, we're playing here in the bottom of the second. What a nice evening this has turned out to be. It was a little warm a little bit earlier. Now we got some clouds rolling in and a nice little breeze, actually, and it's turned into a pleasant evening.
It is a pleasant evening. You have some clouds off in the distance, some big thundering clouds, but it doesn't look anything like it's going to come this direction. Lights are on, and we are covered by some shadows. As this breaking pitch misses high, it's 1-1. I did get a message from head coach Trey Porras after giving him a bit of a shout-out, and he said that the geography lesson was a lot more complicated than I think it needed to be, and I have to agree, completely so.
Well, you were talking about maybe the Generals being in the East, and
I don't know, man.
I'm sure you meant West, but I just wanted to clarify.
I don't know about that one. I think we're going to have to just agree to disagree on this one. We'll call it a day. The East and the West is what's on the field right now, as this one misses inside 3-1.
We'll figure it out by the end of the night.
Maybe. Probably not.
Try and get a...
We'll see. It's a long night ahead of us. 3-1 the count, and there's a big swing and a miss. That'll fill things up to Casey Mack. Mack also another one of those players for the Texas Marshals that has come in and really taken the TCL by storm. Been very impressive. This one's fouled off the handle and up over the bleachers.
Yeah, already 4 home runs for him on the season for the Marshals, leading the league. with those 4 home runs. He showed off a little bit of power in the home run derby earlier this evening.
9 home runs between the first 2 rounds, which led the home run derby, and then just kind of ran out of gas right there at the end. He's going to take this one ball 4, though. And so, first pitcher for Worrell does not necessarily go as planned, and a runner on first base to lead things off for the West All-Stars. 1-0 our score. Here in the bottom of the second inning, the East lead it.
And going back to Casey Mack, leading the TCL with 4 home runs. He hasn't even appeared in every game so far for the Marshals. He's appeared in 18 games so far this season, and has those 4 home runs, already has 17 RBIs for him as well. And then we saw him take a walk there. He does have 10 walks so far this season.
So the first one misses. It's 1-0. Up to the plate now, Drake Osborne. Osborne hitting from the right side, and the first Texarkana twin to take the plate today, and this one's a called strike.
Osborne has been solid defensively behind the plate for Texarkana. Shows off the speed and the flexibility he has behind the plate, able to range to both sides and keep the ball in front of him.
This one missing low as Page just having trouble finding the zone, not necessarily having trouble with control, just can't get the strike call as he's missing, but just by a slim margin. Kicking the pitch, there's a line shot over the outstretched glove of Jordan Wiley and into the left center gap. From first to third goes Casey Mask, and then sliding in the second base with his teammate Alex Rodriguez awaiting. You have Drake Osborne with a double. So almost identical score sheets for both sides, as in the first inning went 3 up, 3 down. Really no kind of, I guess, resistance from the offense. And then it was a leadoff walk in the second, and then a double in the 5th hole, or the 5 hole, to make it runners at second and third, nobody out in the second inning. East did it last time. They only scored 1 run. And now you have Thomas Jeffries at the plate looking to change the fate for the West All-Stars, as he's going to take this one high and outside. 1-0.
Yeah, and just kind of speaks volumes about the amount of talent that the TCL has, dividing it into 2 teams. And right now, like you said, aside from being 1-0 in the score, could very well change, almost evenly matched.
And there's a base hit. That one's going to find a gap as well. 1 run's going to score. Both runs will come across. Jeffries trying to stretch it into a double, and he does, sliding in with a 2 RBI double. Thomas Jeffries representing the Bombers quite well here in the second inning and making us a 2-1 West All-Stars lead.
Well, that was a great hit, but if you look over, if you were able to see the play by right fielder LaHare, having to range all the way almost to right center field and able to cut it off and pick it up with a backhand and still get into second. It was a great piece of hitting, and then we've already seen some of the defense start to step up, and it'll be exciting to see some of the skill off in the field tonight.
David Worrell on the mound, coming out of Texas A&M Corpus Christi, giving up a double to a current teammate in Drake Osborne, and then giving up a double to a future teammate in Thomas Jeffries. So he's having some trouble against his own Islanders while on the mound. Jeffries had some success against Worrell in their first meeting going back a week or so ago in Victoria. He went 2 for 3 in the game against Worrell. 1-0 pitch to Grimsley is going to be hit hard down the line, but it'll slice foul and stay in play right in front of the Sports Radio 1150 The Zone party deck. Grimsley hitting from the right side as the clouds continue to cast a shadow over the all-turf field here in Nutrabolt Stadium.
And Grimsley, one of those players for the Bombers that showed up a little bit late in the season, like a couple of their other players did, but he's really been solid out there, and really any position you put him in the outfield, he's mainly played center field, and he's been a solid leadoff hitter as well for Coach Porras.
He's been solid up at the top of the lineup, and he's got about as much speed as anybody in the TCL. Doesn't show it on the stolen base record just because of how late that he showed up, as this one's hit hard off into the left. But he does have speed. He can beat out infield bunts if needed. He's bunt for a base hit quite a few times in the first half of the TCL season. Waiting on deck, you have Connor Scruggs from the Texas Marshals, the third baseman. Grimsley now with a teammate at second. We're going to drive him in, a big swing and a miss for out number 1. So after giving up the walk and then a pair of doubles, John Grimsley is the first victim to David Worrell on the mound. And there's out number 1. That'll be enough to bring up Connor Scruggs here in the bottom of the second inning. 2-1 score. The West All-Stars lead the East after putting up a 2 spot off of the 2 RBI double from Thomas Jeffries.
How about the season Connor Scruggs is having? Played in 30 games so far and a .336 batting average. Along with that, 11 RBIs. It's been a solid first half of the season for Connor Scruggs and the Texas Marshals.
First one missing to Scruggs. Yeah, Scruggs has been outstanding for the Marshals. And he's great with the glove as well. Defensively and at the dish, he's been a great addition for Coach Mike Mack and company. 2-0 as he takes this one low, and Jeffries still awaiting at second base. The wind blowing in from right field as the sun continues to set behind us. You can see the clouds starting to take some very vibrant colors, and the storm clouds continue to rise out in right center field. Now under the lights at Nutrabolt Stadium. Dalton Stark on deck. Stark not originally on the All-Star roster, but he is filling in for the absent Chase Calabweeg from the Bombers. Very deserving, though, Dalton Stark is, as this one misses low, 3-0. Stark also a Corpus Christi Islander, about to face his current teammate. Worrell comes set, runner at second. Here's the pitch, misses inside, 4-pitch walk issued to Connor Scruggs. Now runners at first and second with 1 out here in the second inning. So Dalton Stark now up at the plate.
Yeah, talking about Dalton Stark has really been solid in the outfield for Coach Borson, like you said, deserving, really earning this spot in the lineup tonight. Has worked hard all season long. It's great to see him rewarded with a spot here in the All-Star game.
He's been outstanding in terms of watching at the plate. He's had the lead in walks quite a few times, back and forth with a couple Victoria Generals. He does take this one for a strike, though.
He does have 22 walks on the season so far.
Leads the Bombers, and it's right up there in the top of the TCL. He's got his Bombers teammate Thomas Jeffries on second base, still in scoring position after his 2 RBI double.
Stark also has 5 doubles early on, or I guess the first half of the season. I tell you, this first half of the season has gone by really fast.
Yeah.
Keep catching myself saying early on, but already been through 1 half of the season.
Blink of an eye. And just like that, we're halfway through the summer and the TCL season. This one misses outside. It's now 2-1 the count to Stark. Bombers love to show off their newly renovated stadium. Some of the renovations not quite done yet out in the right field bullpen, but once those are done, when the week comes to an end, it'll be a magnificent ballpark. You can see the turf. There's a foul ball hit into the parking lot, flared over the left field side of the bleachers. A third base side, I should say.
Talk about the renovations on the turf field, and we're a little bit weary about the turf mound at the beginning of the season, but really talking to all the Bombers pitchers and all pitchers that have come in and really gotten a feel for it, they all say they really like it, so it's good to hear.
This one misses high. It's going to make it full count to Stark. But, yeah, no, completely agree there. You talked about actually getting the feedback from the pitching staffs that have been able to throw on the mound, especially the Bombers pitching staff, and they seem to enjoy the all-turf mound. A lot of times you'll hear negative connotations around that, but it's been quite well adjusted to, as this one's sliced foul over and a long foul ball off over in the third, or the left field bullpen, I should say.
And Stark again with those 22 walks is really disciplined at the plate and able to foul off and really battle and make the pitcher work. We've seen that all season. We're seeing it here, a full count, fouling off a good pitch and making Roel throw another one.
3-2, big swing and a miss. Down goes Stark on strike 3, and the runners will stay at first and second for Gunnar Halter. So 2 strikeouts in the inning, both off of Bombers hitters, as John Grimsley went down swinging, and so did Dalton Stark. David Worrell now an out away from getting out of the inning with only 2 runs across. And we talked about how his future teammate and Thomas Jeffries and his current teammate both had success against the Corpus Christi Islander. That time he got the better of Dalton Stark, another Islander at the dish. Here's Gunnar Halter, first time up, grounded out to the pitcher. At the time it was Max Page. Well, Halter finds his way back up again. Worrell to the set, 0-1 the count, 2-1 the score. The West lead it here in the bottom of the second inning. This one's popped high in the air, but it's going to make its way over the top of us and back into the Sterling Auto Group courtyard.
It's directly over our heads here in the press box.
Didn't hit the press box, though. Continued to carry back behind us. So runners at first and second. 2 outs, 2 strikes on Gunnar Halter. 0-2 count. Runners do go. This one's going to be chopped down the third baseline, and a step on third. Jeffries kind of hesitated as he was trying to avoid the tag, forgot that it was a force out at third, and a nice heads-up play by Dakota Phillips to corral it and step on the bag for out number 3. 2-1 the score as the West take the lead in the bottom of the second inning off of a Thomas Jeffries 2 RBI double off of David Worrell. So the West do take the lead. New pitcher for the West All-Stars, wearing number 5, you have Ben Donnell. Ben listed at 6 foot, 200 pounds. In the southpaw out of Oakville, Ontario, and Mid-America Christian out of the SAC Conference, and the sophomore making his TCL All-Star Game debut, as he's had a phenomenal season for the Texarkana Twins as well.
Yeah, the stat line on, is it Donnell or Donnell?
I believe it's Donnell.
Donnell.
I hope. I don't know.
Okay.
You're the guy that's going to be doing the Texarkana Twins
I
games.
thought it was Donnell. I haven't talked to him. I haven't asked him. But either way, 3-3 on the season so far for the Texarkana Twins. A 1.86 ERA, and he's appeared in 6 games. All of those have been starts. He's pitched in 38 2/3 innings, 23 strikeouts, and only issued 12 walks, giving up 33 hits, but that 1.86 ERA. That's pretty impressive for, you mentioned, a sophomore coming in with TCL this year, and has really been solid for head coach Jake Mintzner over there in Texarkana, and looking to have a solid second half of the season, as the Twins bullpen was a little bit overtaxed there in the end of the first half, and Donald was able to get a couple of big starts, a couple of deep starts for Texarkana, kind of save that bullpen a little bit.
So Jordan Wiley to lead things off for the East All-Stars as they trail it 2-1 against the West All-Stars. The defensive lineman staying the same behind Donnell, and there's a big changeup and a swing and a miss from Wiley. He was way out in front of that one. 0-1 the count. Talked about it earlier. You have an all Bombers right side of the infield, and Thomas Jeffries and Michael Hellman. On the left side, you have the Texas Marshals infield in the form of Connor Scruggs and Casey Mack. And then behind the plate, Drake Osborne, now with Ben Donnell on the rubber.
And Jordan Wiley at the plate is always...
There's a high pop fly to Jared Mang out and right, and he's there easily to make the grab for out number 1.
As I was saying, always tough to kind of avoid getting out if you hit it almost anywhere near him. Has a lot of range, 8 stolen bases on the season for him, and really usually out there at shortstop for the Victoria Generals. Has a lot of range and can make some spectacular plays and has a strong arm to get over to first in time.
Now Jalen Keys up at the plate. You look on one side of the roster and you have really a lot of the power in the TCL with Gunnar Halter, Michael Hellman, Casey Mack, Drake Osborne. And then on the other side, you have a lot of the speed in the TCL with Jalen Keys, Jordan Wiley, as this one's popped high on the right side. And it'll be corralled by Thomas Jeffries for out number 2.
So maybe can kind of see tonight which prevails in baseball. I know it's just one isolated game in the middle of the season, but talk about a lot of the power on one side and a lot of the speed on the other side. Be interesting to see which kind of has the better advantage. And I know there's other factors that go into place, but be interesting to see how that plays out tonight.
There's a called strike to start things off to Glenn McLean. McLean didn't look like he really agreed with that call, but it is going to be a strike. The pitch from Donnell. This one's hit high in the air. Here comes Grimsley running in, and he'll make the easy snag. Can of corn for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down as Ben Donnell has an impressive inning. It shuts down the 9-1-2 hitters in the East All-Stars order, and we'll head to the bottom of the 3rd where the West All-Stars lead it 2-1. And they'll bring up the 2, 3, 4 hitters in their lineup. Michael Hellman set to lead things off. What a beautiful night it is at Nutrabolt Stadium, not only for the TCL All-Star Game and Home Run Derby, but a great fan base in display yet again. You have a great crowd on hand, as you can see as the camera continues to make its way throughout Nutrabolt Stadium. But it's a lot more fun whenever you have a crowd like this out to watch a game of this magnitude with so much on the line. You have pro scouts in attendance. I believe the Yankees, Padres, Royals, Mariners, Cardinals are
I saw a Mets
here.
guy out
Some
there
Mets.
too.
There are a lot of pro teams in attendance to watch some of the talent that's on display tonight, and the Bombers have really put on a show here in Nutrabolt Stadium. You see the new scoreboard out in right center field. You got a good glimpse of it earlier, and just look at the field and the playing surface currently. It's been a lot of fun.
I know we sound like broken records, but I mean the renovations and the new turf field, the new scoreboard. I mean, this is a beautiful field to play on. Like you said, it's always more fun to play in front of a packed house. That's what we have tonight here at Nutrabolt. Another on-field contest going on. The fans are really enjoying every aspect. It's been really entertaining so far. And yeah, it's not much more to add. We've already talked about it. I mean, everything has been really nice. A great evening, a little bit of a breeze, and some great baseball.
Great baseball indeed, and another arm on the mound for the East All-Stars. We're going to have to introduce a lot of pitchers throughout this game, and this time making his way to the hill for the East All-Star is Jose Del Mar. Del Mar coming out of Kissimmee, Florida, probably one of my favorite towns to announce, as Kissimmee, Florida represented well. Central Baptist College out of the AMC, and he's a junior on the mound, one of only 4, 5, 6 juniors on the East All-Stars roster. As you see him there, had the goggles fall off of the face just a hair. But what are some of the numbers on Del Mar so far, Nick?
Well, he's appeared in 7 games so far for the Marshals. He's started 6 of those. It's a 2-3 record, 3.34 ERA, 21 strikeouts for him, 37 2/3 innings pitched, and I believe he came into a relief role actually Sunday against Texarkana. They had a 6-1 lead. Came in, I believe, in the 7th inning. Gave a couple of shutdown innings, and really, when he's on his game, he has a really, really strong breaking ball that really can leave the batters off balance. So we'll see tonight. It's a little bit of a different scenario as you come in for 1 inning of work.
There's a high pop-up off the bat of Michael Hellman. That'll be corralled for out number 1. Couldn't see it there because of the pole, but That's just what we get for being in the press box. Normally the greatest view of really the entire playing surface at Nutrabolt Stadium. Just a couple hiccups, but I can assure you that Glenn McLean made the play in foul ground for out number 1 off the pop fly from Michael Hellman. What are the chances, Nick, that a ball goes right there behind the beam that sits in front of us?
Very slim, but
very slim.
There's got to be a first for everything, and I think that's the first time this season where we've been a little blinded by the pole out there.
Blinded by the pole. Nope.
No.
Not going to do it. First pitch misses outside to Jared Mang, 1-0. 2-1 the score, 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The West All-Stars lead it. Thomas Jeffries with a 2 RBI double. There's a rocket right back up to Jordan Wiley, and it's booted. Wiley can't handle it, and Jared Mang will be on because of the E6. And there's the first base runner of the 3rd inning for the West All-Stars.
I was just praising Wiley and his defensive efforts at short, and looked like maybe he took a little bit of a bad hop on him. Give him credit, though. He was able to stay in front of it and keep that ball in the infield and keep him only Mang on to first, but it was a little bit of a tough hop there to play.
So here's a pitch. It's a called strike.
Is this the first time this happened tonight? We have Texas Marshall player on the mound and a Marshall's player at the plate.
I think it is. I think it's the first time that it's a team-on-team matchup. Good catch there. So we do have Casey Mack at the plate, and there's a big swing and a miss. And
there's that breaking ball.
There's the breaking ball that you were talking about. As he pulled the cork out of that one and saw that one just dive toward the turf. 0-2 the count now to Casey Mack. Mack, of course, the son of the head coach of the Texas Marshals, Mike Mack. There's this one skied high. Casey playing out of Southern Miss, representing the Conference USA. A couple Southern Miss guys on the team. You have Jalen Keys, who's the leadoff hitter. He's also from Southern Miss, Golden Eagles. Of course, Nick and I from North Texas. We know our Conference USA. Here's another swing and a miss.
Again, that breaking ball.
Down goes Casey Mack.
Seen that nasty breaking ball. It looks like Delmar was able to get to the better of his teammate at the plate, getting out number 2.
You know that Delmar's going to let Mack really hear about that for the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah, not just tonight, not just the next, the whole season. When something like that happens, and I'm sure they're great teammates, be a fun thing to bring up the rest of the season, maybe on a road trip or so.
This one's fouled back in our direction.
You had us ready.
Oh, I was ready. I'm always ready, Nick. Always got to be ready. Also, a special thank you to all of the children and all of the teams that were involved in shagging in the fly balls earlier during our home run derby. That was a blast watching some of the best power hitters in the TCL go at it. Had a lot of home runs. It's Jared Mang stealing on the pitch. He's going to slide in safely. It looked like it hit off the back of Mang, and he's going to be slow to get up, but he's safe on the stealing attempt.
I'm not sure if the ball hit him or if maybe he made contact with Jordan Wiley. Looked like they might have got tangled up. Looks like he took his helmet off and is rubbing his head, so maybe he did get the ball to the helmet.
Looked like it, yeah, he's touching the back of his head. May have caught the ball off of the slide. It did bounce before. It did ricochet off of Jared Mang, and hopefully Mang is okay. One of the bigger parts of the Bombers' center of the lineup. Plays outfield for Coach Porras and company. You see Brock Ward out there checking on him. Coach John Cannon as well.
Not entirely sure. Looked like one of the Bombers coaches had a little bit of a grin on his face, so it looks like everything's all right. Looks like it's all smiles now down there. So it's always good to see. You never want to worry about that in any game, but especially not an all-star game. But looks like Mang is fine, and it's a nice applause from the crowd and a couple of pats on the back from the infielders out there.
And one of the great things about this All-Star game, you saw in that camera shot as it continued to zoom out, At one point, there were 4 players on the screen, and all 4 players had different uniforms on, and that's one thing that I love about these kind of games and these opportunities to watch some of the best players in all of the TCL play. Here's the pitch to Drake Osborne, and misses high.
Oh, isn't it great to see all 5 jerseys out on the field tonight? It's always great to see kind of diversity with got the red jerseys out there, the gold, the black, and then the navy. It's really nice to see out there.
There's a breaking pitch fouled off on the third base side. That'll keep the count at 1-2. But I just got a chance to look back at the Mang situation out in second base, and after looking at the replay, it ended up hitting off of the glove of Alex Rodriguez at second base and then glancing off of the back of the helmet of Jared Mang. So it did catch Mang really in the air. There was no bounce at all. So good to see that Mang is okay, because that's a scary moment. Here's a high fly ball down the right side, giving chase out in right field is Daniel Lahair. He's sliding, but it's going to go out of play and into the bleachers. Great camera work there from our producer, Fred Garner, the owner and operator of Game On Sports Production, bringing you tonight's TCL All-Star Game. That one would have been a magnificent play from Daniel Lahair if he was able to get there in time.
If it wasn't in the bleachers out there, great effort and a great sliding effort, I should add.
So 1-2 the count, 2 outs, 2-1 the score. Runner on second base for the West All-Stars, who lead it. And this one, watch out, going high above the head of Osborne. Had to duck into his catcher squat. Being a catcher, he's used to that. But it is 2-2. He had a double in his last appearance and then scored on the Jeffries double that followed. Jeffries on deck. 2-2 the count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. As you can see on the screen, Jared Mang, the only runner on base, and he's in scoring position at second. Comes set, here's the pitch, and it's fouled off. That one also near the Sterling Auto Group courtyard.
And we've seen a few battles at the plate so far tonight by both sides. A couple of full counts and able to fight off some good pitches.
Only 3 strikeouts in the entire game. All of them have come on the west side of things, but they do hold the 2-1 lead. A lot of battling between these two star-studded lineups. There's a pitch misses outside. The fastball can't find the zone. It's 3-2. So Jeffries on deck, Mang at second, Osborne at the plate hitting and representing the Texarkana Twins.
Osborne does have a .354 average so far for the Twins.
This one's chopped foul as the battle continues.
He has drawn 14 walks as well at the plate.
So Del Mar on the mound, battling with Drake Osborne at the dish. Base hit to the outfield here almost certainly scores Mang. Mang not with a ton of speed, but he's a savvy base runner that makes up for it. And talking with his SIDs from New Mexico. Here's a deep fly ball in the center field. Back goes Keys. And that one's going to hold up into the wind and into the deep center field for out number 3. And there's just another example of how this is a pitcher's ballpark. 325 down the left field and right field lines. Almost 420 in the alleyway and the 400 straightaway center. As that one was out number 3. The wind almost always blows in here, and there's a reason why the Bombers' pitching staffs over the couple seasons have had not only the great talent, but they've had some great luck in playing at this Nutravolt Stadium.
Well, yeah, before we get there, I'm not sure if you picked up on this, but before Osborne made contact, there was no wind. The flags were stationary. They weren't moving. As soon as he hit it out into dead center field, I noticed the flags started moving a little bit and the wind started, so maybe a little bit of a bad break there for Osborne. As soon as he hit that, the wind started and was really going against the ball. So yeah, it's interesting to see, and like you said, a hitter's ballpark. You have the tall fence out there in left field, and like you mentioned, the wind more often than not keeping the ball in play here at Nutravolt.
Now, talking about really the way that this ballpark is a pitcher's park. If you look out in center field whenever you get a chance, it ends up showing a black pickup truck parked just beyond the fence in center field, and that black pickup truck actually belongs to Hunter Hearn, the designated hitter for the East All-Stars. And I believe he has a running bet with a couple of his teammates to see if, hey, maybe somebody will get a piece of one and send it out to his truck out in center. Nice looking Chevy Silverado.
I want to know what the terms are of that bet.
I'm not sure, but I was talking with him earlier. Said, hey, that's my truck out there. I know what risks I'm taking.
I mean, I know I know it's not, a very good chance of getting hit out there, but I'm not sure if I'd want to put my car out there.
Either. I think I'm right there with you.
I feel like just with my luck, I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll put it out there. And the first at bat or something would be homer directly, like right on the nose, right on my car. I feel like that would happen.
Especially with the home run derby going on beforehand. Now on the mound for the West All-Stars, Texarkana Twins, Trey Jeans. And Trey, owner of one of the best outings in the TCL pitching-wise all season long, had 15 strikeouts in a game against the Texas Marshals, went all 9 innings in a complete game shutout, ended up pitching, I believe, 142 pitches in that game, had 15 strikeouts, only gave up 3, I believe it was 2 or 3 hits. What are some of the other numbers that Jeans has had throughout the season?
I'll go ahead and talk about that complete game he had, the 10-0 win against the Marshals, 9 innings pitched, only giving up 2 hits, had 15 strikeouts like you said, and I mean really had a 1.8, or actually didn't give up any runs, but on the season he's 2-0. He's started 4 games, appeared in 5, a 1.77 ERA, 25 1/3 innings pitched, 29 strikeouts. So it's been a solid start for him, for Trey Jeans. Jake Mintzner again over Texarkana. I mean, really, again, a 1.77 ERA and 25 1/3 innings pitched. That's very impressive for Trey Jeans.
Really, his one hiccup came against the Bombers, and now that he's on the mound against his teammate in Alex Rodriguez, 0-1 now the count. I'm actually going to give play-by-play duties over for the middle innings to Mr. Nick Laupius.
Thank you, Kyle. It's been a lot of fun already, this TCL All-Star Game.
It has been a blast.
Gone by a little quick, though. It's already in the 4th inning. 2-1 our score. We've seen a lot of great pitchers out on the mound, though, and that usually results in quick innings and quick games. And the 2-1 pitch is outside. 3-1 now the count. Rodriguez getting a hold of this one. His little flare out into center field, coming on, giving chase. Able to get there in time for the second out of the inning.
A couple of defensive substitutions here for the West All-Stars, along with adding Trey Jeans out on the mound. You have a shifting of the outfielders. Dalton Starton out in right, John Grimsley in center, Jared Mang in left. You still have Connor Scruggs at third. At short, now you have one of the Acadiana cane cutters. I believe it's Jonathan Artigues.
Donaldo Perez now up to the plate for the East All-Stars, for the Victoria Generals as well.
Actually, take that back. That's Brady Bell playing shortstop for the cane cutters. Excuse me.
The first pitch is taken outside, 1-0 the count. Still the left, or the right side of the field, infield that is, for the Bombers is all Bombers, and the 1-0 is a liner just foul on the first base side. Jeffries not able to get there in time. 1-1 the count now with 1 away. Perez at the plate. The 2-1 pitch is just below the knees. 3-1 now the count, and waiting on deck is Daniel Lahair. Coming set now, delivering the 3-1 is a fastball, looks like a little bit low in the turf. It'll be a 1-out walk issued to Donaldo Perez.
That's the second time that Perez has already found his way on base by the way of the walk. So a nice job by Perez of just watching and swinging only at good pitches. Did score his last time that he reached by the way of the walk.
That'll bring up Daniel LaHare. He looks at pitch one outside, 1-0. LaHare also a solid start for the Cane Cutters. Appeared in 24 games already and .344 batting average. 11 RBIs on the move as Perez. Throw will not be in time as Perez able to beat it out. Pops right back up on the second base. A stolen base, and now a runner in scoring position with one away for the East All-Stars. And Perez got a good start there, but even then, Osborne making it close with a throw right on the money.
What a job by Perez. He had a great jump looking off of Trey Jeans, and there was really nothing that Drake Osborne could do, even with the usual battery between the Twins pitcher and catcher.
And 2-0 was fouled off here on the third base side as LaHare looked a little bit unhappy with that one. Thought he might have had his pitch on that one. Maybe just missed it a little bit. 2-1 our score here in favor of the West All-Stars. We're the top of the fourth. 2-1 the count with one away. Daniel LaHare. Here comes the pitch. This one's fouled off again on the third base side. 2-2 the count.
LaHare also having a great season for the Cane Cutters. So far on the season, hitting .344 with 16 walks, 11 RBIs. He has a pair of doubles and a triple as well. Scored 22 runs.
A 2-2 is going to come in, and that actually will hit LaHare. With a 2-2 count, LaHare finds his way on base. Not the ideal way to get on base, but he'll take it.
It's not necessarily the way you want to get 90 free feet. I'd rather it be by the way of the walk, but hey, you'll take what you can.
And that'll bring up the 2017 Home Run Derby champion, Skinner, for the Victoria Generals. And he showed off his power. I can't remember the exact total of home runs he had in the Home Run Derby. It's escaping me right now, but
I believe he had,
I
believe he had 11. I think he had
11.
6 in the first round, 3 in the second round.
I think he had 3. No, he had
2.
3 in the first. I think it was 3 in the first, 3 in the second. And then, so maybe I think he had 10 because he had the 1 in overtime. Or did he have the 2? He had the 2. Yeah, so you're right. It was 11.
It was 11.
It ended up being 11, so.
Never
He fouls off the first pitch, by the way. 0-1 the count. Here comes the 0-1. Is swung on and missed on the outside corner. 0-2.
And Skinner, coming from nearby Cypress, Texas, also a product of Blinn Community College, the Blinn Buccaneer, also with a campus in College Station, has quite a big reception being from this area and around the area. Has a good fan base here.
0-2 is swung on and missed. Looked like maybe a fastball on the outside corner, unable to catch up with it to Skinner for out number 2.
That's a big strikeout for Trey Jeans. You have runners on base. You're struggling with 2 straight batters and free passes. You get really a barrel down kind of, buckle down kind of strikeout there, being able to pound the strike zone and come away with a big out. The first strikeout, I should add, of an East All-Stars hitter all game long.
That'll bring up Hunter Hearn as the first pitch is outside, and Osborne happened to get out of his squat there and able to range over, make the catch, keep it in front of him. 1-0 now the count. Hearn has the lone RBI for the East All-Stars so far tonight. The ground out to second base. And this one is fouled directly back into the netting. 1-1 now the count. So Trey Jeans, like you said, a big strikeout for him there. The first strikeout of the East All-Stars tonight. Able to get that second out and keeping Perez there at second. 2-1 our score here. 2 hits for the West All-Stars. No outs, or no errors. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error for the East. The 1-1 is taken below the knees. 2-1 now the count. Seen some really great pitching so far tonight, and On a couple of occasions, the offense has gotten the better of them. The bats have gotten the better. 2-1 pitches outside and getting out and threatening to throw over to first Osborne, but Jeffries wasn't there to cover in time. 3-1 now the count. Dakota Phillips awaits on deck, so they can extend it to him.
Yeah, the pitchers have been outstanding so far through the first 3 innings of this one. Only the couple of hiccups in that second inning.
3-1 pitch, a little blooper, might fall in front of Stark. Stark able to get there in time, showing off the speed he has there for out number 3. So Trey Jeans, after having runners first and second with only 1 away, able to get a big strikeout and then the fly out over to center field thanks to the hustling effort of Dalton Stark.
John Grimsley.
Or John Grimsley.
There you go.
Oh, sorry. That's right. You were talking
said
about
it twice.
that.
Yeah, you did.
You talked about that at the beginning of the
Okay, I
inning.
got your back. Don't worry. It's
Anyway,
a long day.
Anyway, it was a great hustling effort by a Bombers outfielder to keep this game at 2-1.
There you go. Make it easy to remember.
Michael and Colton have a contraction on their back. They have 8 golf balls in the contraction.
See the new pitcher here for the Generals. Let's try and see who this is. It's like number 52. It looks like it's going to be Pedro Garcia for the Victoria Generals. Now on the mound for the East All-Stars. Get the stats on him. Again, number 52, Pedro Garcia, 6-foot left-hander, or right-hander, I should say. Had a solid start again for the Generals. To be expected, he's appeared in 6 games, started 4 of those, has a 3-0 record. Has a 4.30 ERA though. 29 strikeouts on the season for him, and pitched in 23 innings so far. So 3-0 record is a good start for any pitcher to have. And the Generals have a lot of offense that can back you up. Be interesting to see what Garcia has tonight in store for us.
Garcia, really his best outing came back on June 18th against the Brazos Valley Bombers. He had a great outing against the Twin on June 5th, but the way that he dominated Bombers hitters, only giving up 3 earned runs in his 5 innings of work. He had 5 hits, but he struck out 6 batters and really had every hitter on really the edge of things, and really the Bombers were unable to solve him. That was down in Acadiana, now on the home turf of the Bombers and against a pair of Bombers to start things off, and Thomas Jeffries and John Grimsley.
Yeah, especially Thomas Jeffries, who's always seems to find a way to get on base and shows off that speed on the base passes. Again, he was on base in his first at-bat tonight with that 2 RBI double in the second inning. Showing off the power. We'll see if he can do that again. The first pitch is fastball outside, 1-0 the count. Well, Garcia quickly back, comes set, and here the 1-0 delivery is called strike this time on the outside corner, as I'm not sure if Jeffrey's able to make contact. Not sure if he can do much with that one. Quickly, again, come and set is Garcia. Comes the 1-1 delivery to Jeffries, a swung and a pop-up over. Slicing foul on the third base side, ranging over, not able to make the catch, running out of room. So 1-2 the count to Jeffries. And like Kyle said, John Grimsley awaits on deck, the center fielder for the West All-Stars.
There you go. You got it right this time. You got to give him credit. He made a nice play, came forward, made the grab. Reed Morgan, by the way, warming up in the Bombers bullpen, so he very well could be the next Bombers pitcher.
1-2.
I guess West All-Star
West
pitcher.
All-Star and Bombers pitcher.
There you go.
And Reed Morgan, who has really been shut down so far on the mound for the Bombers and Coach Trey Porras. A well-earned spot on the roster. The 2-2 is swung in another pop-up over in shallow foul territory on the third base side. Able to range over, get underneath it is Dakota Phillips for out number 1. So good start here for Pedro Garcia. Faces the first batter and gets first out against a very difficult opponent at the plate, Thomas Jeffries.
Yeah, Jeffries, after getting that 2 RBI double back in the second inning, popping out basically twice over to that side of things. Just didn't necessarily get it out of play enough that second time and got lucky the first time. So it ended up going about the way that you would expect.
So John Grimsley now up to the plate for the West All-Stars and squares around to Button. Gets underneath this. A high pop-up actually going between the awning and the netting here behind the plate, and actually ends up in the grandstand.
Almost a nice play by the fans sitting in the Founders Club there.
I think that's the first time I've seen that happen.
Oh, now she gets a drink. Well, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Get a free drink. How about that? I'd take that.
So 0-1 the count now to Grimsley as Garcia comes set, and here's the delivery. It's a slow breaking ball. Breaks at the knees, called for strike 2, and looked like had Grimsley frozen there.
Garcia's breaking pitch is really his bread and butter. Pulls the cork out from underneath it, lets it sink down, and there's not a whole lot opposing hitters can do, especially when they're sitting on a fastball.
0-2 delivery, and this one's has a little more mustard on it, but that one's out of the zone into the carpet. 1-2 the count. Actually goes all the way off to the backstop, and the backstop is a little bit of a lively backstop here at Nutrabolt Stadium. It's
about as lively as you can hope for.
The ball takes really big hops, really big bounces off of the backstop here. We've seen that in action a few times this season.
Definitely plays a role, especially on pass balls with runners on base.
1-2 delivery, swung on and missed. A fastball up toward the chest. Swung on and missed for out number 2, and that'll bring up Connor Scruggs, who reached on base by the way the walk his first at bat.
Scruggs we talked about earlier in the TCL Home Run Derby, so going all the way and making his presence felt in the title round. Just couldn't overpower Marshall Skinner in front of his hometown family, as there's a ground ball.
The first pitch is a ground ball. Able to get over there is Wiley in time, getting on over to first. First baseman McLean. So a quick 1-2-3 inning for Pedro Garcia. And for the East All-Stars, he now turns it over to his bats and try and get this game all knotted up. And 2-1, it's been a real pitcher's duel, and it's not been just one or two pitchers. Every pitcher that has come in so far has really been solid.
And as a hitter, especially in a lineup in a ballpark that you might not be comfortable in, even if you look at the Bombers, this is a Bombers team that's only a couple different, I guess, a first half into being used to this ballpark, but having to face a new pitcher every single inning and having to get some kind of feel on a pitcher every inning, it's definitely tougher as a hitting, from a hitting standpoint, to try and get any kind of rhythm going, as we're having some sort of water pickup game brought to you by C-Force.
Yeah, and you're talking about having to face a new pitcher every time. This is not a traditional game, especially for the pitchers. We've seen a couple of starting pitchers come in the second or in the third, only going in for one inning of work. For Reed Morgan, who's now on the mound for the Bombers, he's a little more used to coming in middle of the game, maybe pitching one or two innings. But for the starters that have been out there tonight, it's been a little bit of a different feel, but they played it very well. Let's see here who's going to win it. It's going to be a close finish.
But yeah, no, Reed Morgan coming in out of Oklahoma State, and Reed has really been the anchor at the back of that bullpen for head coach Trey Forrest and the Brazos Valley Bombers. We'll get your numbers on him in just a minute. He loves being able to come in and have a real kind of, I guess, impact early on, and being able to I don't know. I'm trying to look
If you want to talk about impact, let's take a look at that game on June 20th against the Marshalls. He comes in, a 0-0 game. That game ends up going 11 innings. He comes in, pitches 4 shutout innings, ends up getting the win. Ends up getting the win, but he comes in 0-0 ball game and able to go 4 innings scoreless and get it over to his offense, and eventually to get the walk-off. I believe it was a Chase Calabuig single that drove in, if I remember this correctly, I think it was Thomas Jeffries to score that game-winning run. But like you said, Reed Morgan, who likes to make an impact in the game and has so far, has actually a 3-0 record for the Bombers so far, 1.17 ERA. Has been in 13 games so far, and the first pitch is a frozen rope over the head of the shortstop. Looks like Casey Mack, or not Mack, that's a defensive substitution, but either way, that's going to be a double, a leadoff double for Dakota Phillips.
How about making an impact right off the bat? First off, thank you for saving me on that one. But Brady Bell couldn't stretch out and make the grab, but that one just a rocket off the bat of Dakota Phillips going all the way in the right center field gap, making it all the way to the wall. There was no chance for Mang or Grimsley to use their speed and cut that one off. Just like that, you have the tying run on second base and a couple generals now up. You have Jordan Wiley, then the top of the lineup up as well. So if you're not careful here, Reed Morgan could get into a bit of trouble.
Especially Jordan Wiley here swinging and missing at the first pitch, but Wiley, don't want to let him get on base. 8 stolen bases already for the Generals this season. Has a lot of speed. And if you turn that over to the top of the lineup with nobody out and that kind of speed on base, be dangerous for Reed Morgan. And 0-1 is a called strike on the outside corner. 0-2 quickly now the count. Again, Reed Morgan has 1.17 ERA. He's appeared in 13 games. He's pitched 23 innings so far for the Bombers as the 0-2 is fouled directly behind home plate into the netting. Count remains at 0-2. As Wiley flew out to right field in his first at bat in the 3rd inning. Looking to get on base here. The 0-2 delivery from Morgan's a chopper over to second base. Hellman able to field it, getting over to Jeffries at first for out number 1. That does advance Dakota Phillips 90 feet away from home plate, and that'll bring up the top of the order, Jalen Keys.
Morgan, who's usually really a lights-out closer for the Brazos Valley Bombers, has come in an unusual situation for him. As he comes in the middle of a ball game in the 5th inning. Of course, it's unusual with a pitcher new on the mound every inning as well, so it's unusual for more than just Reed Morgan. But at the same time, you're used to coming in and the back end of the bullpen and being really a showstopper for the Bombers. But this time, Reed coming in the middle of the game, maybe throwing him off a little bit, and a quick double from Dakota Phillips. Nice job to get the ground out there, but you still have the tying run just 90 feet away.
With only 1 out in the top of the order here, the first pitch missed outside. 0-1 the count as Morgan quickly comes set. And here's another line drive over the head of looked like Thomas Jeffries. So that'll score Dakota Phillips, and that'll be a 1-out RBI single for Jalen Keys. And just like that, we're tied at 2.
So Keys coming in clutch with runners in scoring position. Nice job by Jordan Wiley to move over the runner from second to third. But I think Dakota Phillips would have been able to score regardless if he was on second or third with that base hit. Nice job of hitting. Jalen Keys just taking that fastball the other direction and putting it down that right field line.
A nice piece of hitting. And 2-2 our score here as we play the top of the 5th. That's the 3rd hit of the evening for the East All-Stars, and they do have 1 error on the night. And then 2 runs on 2 hits, and there's a close play. Great awareness by Drake Osborne to get it to Jeffries, but Jalen Keys able to get back in time. And wow, Drake Osborne really showing off the cannon he has there behind the plate, is able to throw an absolute bullet to Thomas Jeffries, but Keys back there in time, and the 1-0 is called strike at the letters. 1-1 now to count.
That was a close play over at first base. Some of the hometown fans wanted the West All-Stars to get the benefit of the doubt.
There's a throw over to first by Morgan. Back in time again, Jalen Keys. Going back to the line score, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors for the West All-Stars. And Keys is on the move, got a great jump at chopper over and able to field it and get it over to first in time. We'll get the 1 out as they will not be able to get the lead runners. As it was Brady Bell having trouble getting that out, but Brady Bell able to field it, but Jalen Keys able to get a good jump, stays safe at second. It'll be the 2nd out as McLean grounds out. That'll bring up Alex Rodriguez of the Texarkana Twins.
And because of the hit and run there, it did save that from a potential double play. McLean has some speed, but even with the chopper, just because of where it was relative to second base, it could have been a quick turn for Brady Bell at short to try and throw that one over to first.
The first pitch, a hard fastball called for strike 1, and then the second one is a slow breaking ball swung on and missed for strike 2. 0-2 now the count to Rodriguez. Here's the delivery, another chopper This one over to Hellman, able to field it, get in front of it. Over to Jeffries in time for out number 3. So the East All-Stars do strike for one more run. And go to the bottom of the 5th, all tied up at 2. It's been a very tightly contested game. Again, the only really difference is there's only one more hit on the board for the East All-Stars, and then they do have the one error. But other than that, it's been almost the exact same. Like you said, the first inning was 1-2-3, and then the second inning, both teams had a leadoff walk and then a double, able to score that. And it's really been maybe a little spooky on how tightly and how similarly these two teams have played so far.
Well, it's funny. Back in the final series for the Bombers and the General, or I guess for the Bombers, the Generals ended up playing the Cane Cutters afterwards. But in that final series here at Nutrabolt Stadium in the first half, you had Coach Trey Porras and Coach Michael Oros sit in the very chairs that we're sitting in currently and split these teams up fairly between the Twins, the Cane Cutters, and the Marshalls, and they did such a great job that it's ridiculous. Both of these two teams have been almost identical throughout, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. The only difference really in the ball game is the Thomas Jeffries 2 RBI double. That's the reason why this game is tied up at 2 apiece. Other than that, it's been a couple runs scratched across. Maybe on outs, you had a Hunter Hearn RBI in the second inning where Donaldo Perez came in to score. And then you had the single from Jalen Keys. But other than that, it's been a couple runs here and there. The Jeffries double is really why this game is tied up at 2 as we're heading into the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, well, bottom of the 5th, and I'm running out of spots here to put all the new pitchers. It looks like Zach Lee for the Victoria Generals will be out there on the mound. Go in this bottom of the 5th, and quick stats on him. Has appeared in 5 games, has started 3 of those 5, has a 2-1 record, a 2.62 ERA. It's 27 strikeouts already in 24 innings pitched. And really, I remember when we were on the call for the game in Victoria against the Bombers, it was really, really outstanding. It's Lee, I noticed the kind of pitcher that if you don't get to him early, he tends to settle into a groove rather quickly and almost becomes impossible to hit.
He also he's really kind of a hothead whenever in terms of if he does get rattled up pretty quickly in an inning, he'll tend to get a little emotional on the mound. You've seen it throughout the games that he's played in. He's had a couple good outings, a couple great outings, but at the same time, he's had a couple poor outings as well, and that's because hitters do get to him early. And now in this All-Star game, you only have 3 outs to work with.
The first pitch is fouled right back behind the plate. And I tell you, this netting behind the plate has gotten a workout so far. 0-1 to count to Stark. Did strike out in his first at-bat. Looking to get on base here. 0-1 is a little blooper out into left field. Able to get underneath it, though, is Donaldo Perez. That stayed up just enough for him for out number 1. So Zach Lee retires the first batter he faces tonight, and that'll go back to the top of the order. Gunnar Halter, Texarkana Twins, usually second baseman. He's DHing tonight for the West All-Stars. Lee comes set, and here's the first pitch. Is just outside. Looked like a fastball. 1-0 the count. Halter looking to reach base here his first time tonight, and the 1-0 is upstairs. 2-0 now the count. And again, Lee in his last outing was against the Bombers on June 28th. In the 3-1 victory, he went 6 2/3 innings strong, and the 2-0 was fouled over on the first base side, out of play. 2-1 the count. Went 6 2/3 innings, only gave up 1 run. Had 9 strikeouts that night for the Generals, so was able to settle in early and really became unhittable against those Bombers. Lee comes set, and the 2-1 pitch is called strike right down the middle. 2-2 now at the count to Gunnar Halter as Michael Hellman awaits on deck. Brazos Valley Bombers playing second base here tonight.
If you look at the top of the lineup, especially on the west side of things, it's been relatively quiet throughout.
2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. So 2 quick outs here for Zach Lee. Now to bring up again Michael Hellman. He's looking to reach base tonight.
Yeah, Hellman 0 for 2 on the day. After this, you have Jared Mang, who's 0 for 2 as well. After that, you have Casey Mack, and Mack got on once by the way of the walk in a deep 3-2 count, and then on the other side he struck out. So the top of the lineup's been quiet for the West.
I'm not sure if you're able to see that, but a big looping breaking ball on the outside corner, and Hellman was fooled on that one, maybe looking for a fastball, but what a pitch there by Zach Lee. And quick second strike there. That one was called strike at the knees, and Lee looking for a quick 1-2-3 inning and get it to the top of the 6th. Comes set, and here's the 0-2 delivery. It's a called strike on the outside corner. So back-to-back strikeouts. This one was strikeout looking, but a quick 1-2-3 inning for Zach Lee will turn it to the 3-4-5 hitters for the East All-Stars. We go to the top of the 6th. 2-2 still our score.
What an inning for Zach Lee, coming in, following up his teammate Pedro Garcia, throwing really a perfect inning. You had the fly out with Dalton Stark, and then 2 straight strikeouts. And this has been a really strikeout-heavy side for the West. You talk about the Bombers leading the league in strikeouts throughout the first half of the season. They're kind of carrying that over here into the All-Star game. You have 6 strikeouts, and 4 of the 6 have come out of Bombers hitters. So hopefully they'll be able to turn that around in terms of putting the ball in play a little bit more. But these are some of the best pitchers in the TCL. We've talked about the talent all night, but the Bombers all season long have struggled with that, and now the West All-Stars are continuing to do so too. 6 strikeouts for the West, only 1 for the East All-Stars through 5 innings here.
Yeah, and looks like a little bit of a disc throwing competition. I'm not sure if... Oh, that one was close.
That was close. It used to be tortilla tossing.
Yeah. A couple of discs out there. It's fun to see. It looks like a new pitcher will be on the mound for the West All-Stars. Looks like the Victoria Acadiana cane cutter. Let's see if I can make out the number here. Looks like number 6 for the cane cutters. We'll look over here. It'll be Justin DeMary for the cane cutters. We'll get the stats on him here briefly, but again, top of the 6th, 2-2 our score. 3 hits for the East and 2 for the West. It's been a very close matchup and a quick-moving game. And that's what you get when you have some of the best pitchers in the league go up against each other. And I don't care, how powerful you are. If there's a solid pitcher out there on the mound, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to put the ball in play, and even if you do get the ball in play, to try and get a couple of runners on and get those runs home. As get the stats here on Justin DeMary is 2-1 on the season, has appeared in 7 games, has started 3 of those, 3.79 ERA, 19 strikeouts, and 21 1/3 innings pitched. And the first pitch to Donald Perez is upstairs, 1-0 the count.
Special thank you to all of you joining us again here for the 2017 TCL All-Star Game, presented by Game On Sports, hosted by the Brazos Valley Bombers.
The 1-0 pitch is a swing and a miss on the outside corner, 1-1 now the count.
I've got to get that in there.
DeMary comes set in the 1-1 delivery, almost hits Perez, but Perez able to get out of the way, 2-1 now the count. So to start off the season, DeMary had back-to-back, actually had 3 starts in a row, go 5 innings, and the 2-1 is a liner out there in center field. Able to get under it is John Grimsley for out number 1.
3rd time's a charm, right?
So a quick first out for DeMary, and as I was saying, his first 2 starts, goes 5 innings, ends up getting the wins in both of those. And his 3rd start went 5 innings as well. It didn't get the decision there, but it's been solid for the cane cutters this season. Here comes the first pitch now facing his teammate. It's Daniel LaHare as he fouls off first pitch over on the 3rd base side, 0-1 the count. So I think this is, if I'm keeping track correctly, the 2nd time teammates have faced each other.
Third time.
3rd time.
We had a Texarkana matchup. This is the first time of Acadiana. So we've had 1 Acadiana, 1 Texarkana, and now 1 Texas Marshall. Yeah. So all 3 teams that are split up have now had a matchup between teammates.
Let's see who gets the better. Who got the better of the Texarkana one?
I'm looking at that right now. I want to figure that one out.
I know the pitcher of the Marshalls got the better of that one. The 1-1 is a foul ball off the glove of the catcher back there.
Trey Jeans got the better of Alex Rodriguez in the 4th inning.
So the pitchers are 2-0 right now.
Exactly right.
And now 1-2 the count to Daniel LaHare's looking for the clean sweep, the 1-2. LaHare thought about it, holds up though, 2-2 the count. He'll make his teammate work a little bit more. Maybe he's telling him, hey, give me something a little closer to at least think about swinging. As DeMary comes set, now the 2-2 against his teammate. Swung on a little fly out into shallow right field. Able to get underneath that is Michael Hellman, I believe. Actually, that'll be a cane cutter. As that'll be Jonathan. Now help me with the pronunciation.
Artiguez. That's what we're going to go with.
All right, so here we go.
We haven't asked him yet.
So then we had a cane cutter on the mound at the plate, and then a fly out or a pop out to a cane cutter there at second base. The trifecta.
Good catch there, Nick.
For out number 2.
Michael Hellman, by the way, has moved over to
there
third
we go.
base.
Okay, I was wondering. All right, first pitch is called strike to. Who's this? Is this Skinner?
It is not. It's a pinch hitter.
And so there we go. We'll get the name here briefly. The 0-1 is just outside. 1-1 the count.
I believe this is Handsome Monica. It is.
Handsome Monica.
Yes.
At the plate. Now another cane cutter versus cane cutter here.
If you actually look out onto the field, with the exception of the catcher, it is cane cutters all the way up the middle. Shortstop, second base, cane cutter on the mound, cane cutter at the plate. And the rest is bombers. Oh, wow.
The 2-1 is belted deep to left field. If that's fair, it's gone. It is fair. It's a home run, a solo shot for Handsome Monica. And there was no doubt about that one. It was right off the crack of the bat. If you knew if that was staying fair, it was tailing toward the foul pole. That one stays fair, though, and it's a solo shot with 2 away for the East All-Stars, and they reclaim their lead.
So the East take the lead, and now forever and always, no matter what happens for the rest of the entire season, Handsome Monica has the advantage over DeMary on anything whatsoever, because Monica just went yard on DeMary. Wow. What a shot that was right down the line.
The first pitch, Hunter Hearn is down low for ball 1, and wow, still kind of impressed by that shot there. As that got out in no time as well.
Where was he in the home run derby?
1-0 is fouled off over by the first base dugout. 1-1 now the count. Hunter Hearn. Again, the RBI to give the East All-Stars get the first run on the board. And then had a fly out to Grimsley over there in center field, who I originally thought was Stark, but was eventually corrected. It was Grimsley making that outstanding play out there in center field. And the 1-1 is down low. 2-1 now the count. As DeMary quickly comes set, and the 2-1 deliveries again bounces over to the plate. 3-1 now the count.
I'm still trying to get over the home run. I'll tell you that right
I'm
now.
with you there.
A pinch hit home run in the All-Star game. How against a teammate?
Yeah.
Doesn't get much better than that.
The 3-1 is fouled off, out of play over the heads of the first base dugout. And so a full count with 2 away to Hunter Hearn. Justin DeMary on the mound. 3-2 now our score here in favor of the East All-Stars. We play in the top of the 6th. And again, only 4 hits for the East All-Stars and only 2 for the West. We've seen some great pitching here tonight. And we've also seen a little bit of fireworks, the home run by Handsome Monica. So here comes the payoff pitch. It's swung in a little flare out into shallow right field. 3 players giving chase. Able to get underneath it eventually. And almost tumbling over. But Jeffrey's able to hold on and stay on his feet for out number 3. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, 3-2 now our score.
Now I'm actually going to hop in here, Nick. and give a little bit of added play-by-play because I was looking on our monitor here, and the pole strikes again. The pole got in the way of the shot in the camera angle that we had. Thomas Jeffries goes over. Then you had the Acadiana cane cutter playing second base in the form of Jonathan Artigas. And Jeffries originally called it. Artigas continued on, and almost a collision. Artigas had to go to the turf. Jeffries had to step over him in order to make the play in foul ground. So a little bit of a replay there to clarify what exactly just happened.
And the pole strikes again.
A pole does strike again, but it is out number 3, and a nice play by Thomas Jeffries in foul ground.
Yeah, so we were just talking about is what are the odds that the pole gets in the way? That's already twice here tonight.
Well, apparently more than we think.
And we're here in the bottom of the 6th. A new pitcher on the mound for the East All-Stars. It's out for the Texarkana Twins. It's going to be Braden Boyd, and he's really been a godsend for the Texarkana bullpen. As in that first game this past weekend against the Texas Marshals, was able to come in and throw 2 solid shutout innings and seal that victory for the Twins, and has really been solid. One of the bright spots for the Texarkana Twins bullpen all season. We'll get the stats pulled up here in just a moment on him, but 3-2 our score, evenly matched. But again, that monster shot by Handsome Monica there in the top of the 6th against his teammate has been one of the more interesting parts of the night. Not that this game hasn't been fun; it's been a blast to watch, but that definitely stands out.
It'll always stand out when a teammate goes yard on another teammate, especially for that teammate that went yard against another teammate. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, he got a hold of that ball, and that thing was out in no time. Now go ahead and pull up the stats here on Braden Boyd, now on the mound. Has appeared in 10 games, a 3.85 ERA, has pitched in 16 1/3, has 10 strikeouts in those. And again, has been really solid in that July 1st game, the 9-3 victory against the Marshals in Plano. Went 2 solid innings. No runs, only gave up 2 hits in those 2 innings. The first pitch is down low, 1-0 the count. Is Jared Meng now up to the plate, affectionately known with his teammates as John Cena. I think you mentioned that a little bit earlier.
I did.
Does resemble John Cena. Takes 1-0 outside, 2-0 now the count.
And little does he know, and I don't know if he does know this or not, he may, but we have the John Cena music queued up inside the ballpark. If he were to hit a home run at any point this season, it's in the library and it is ready to go. So hopefully that won't go in vain.
So 2-0 is a called strike on the outside corner, and Meng swings and misses to count now even at 2-2. And I tell you, if he does hit a home run, you better believe that John Cena music will be playing throughout Nutrabolt Stadium.
I think if he does hit a home run right here, Nick, you need to yell out, cue up the music.
The 2-2 is fouled directly behind home plate. Count remains at 2-2.
Also in awe of how dominant these pitchers have been. Even with the 3 runs on the board for the East All-Stars, it's all been in relatively quiet situations, just real quick runs in 3 separate innings.
2-2 is swung on and missed there. Looked like maybe an off-speed pitch. Had Meng fooled for out number 1.
Now with that strikeout, it's 3 straight against some of the West hitters.
And 2 of those being Bombers.
2 of them being Bombers. And then you look at the one time that the Bombers were able to scratch across a pair of runs. It was both on 1 swing and a bat. So overall, it's been either scratching across a run here and there or the one clutch hit off of Thomas Jeffries' bat that is where all of the scoring has come from. And you expect to have a pitcher's duel with this amount of talent on the hill. But even then, it is definitely impressive.
The first pitch is called ball, and the second pitch is called for ball too, so 2 quick balls here. Looks like Casey Mack. No, it's not Casey Mack. It's a new player out there.
It's Brady Bell.
Brady Bell. I'm having trouble. I apologize.
What is it with you and the Acadiana cane
I apologize, Brady, as I haven't given you credit all night. And
I'm just trying to snub Louisiana. I don't get it.
It's like Nick. The 3-0 is called strike. 3-1 now the count, and that one was Athanesa. Again, if maybe any of Brady's friends or relatives listening, I apologize. Try and get it right. And this one able to squeak past over on first base, and that'll be a single for Brady Bell. Now, one out singles. The West All-Stars finally find themselves a base runner again.
That's the first base runner that they've had since the error back in the 3rd inning. That was just a hard hit ball down the line. It's going to be a tough play no matter what for Troy Black at first base, but a nice job by Brady Bell.
And Troy Black usually plays third base for Texarkana, but see him here at first base tonight in the All-Star game.
Unlimited substitutions as well throughout the game. Back and forth. You want to get everybody in the ball game. Now Josh Aguilar at the dish, hitting for the Marshals.
The catcher for the Texas Marshals looks at ball 1. So the delivery from Boyd is a called strike right at the knees. 1-1 now the count.
If you look at the numbers from Aguilar, they don't necessarily look that spectacular. 188 average, but holding down the middle of that lineup and also providing a power threat here and there, and really being able to come in out of University of Louisiana Lafayette and providing the Marshals with a little bit of pop in the middle of that order.
And the 1-1 was a breaking ball right on the outside corner, called for strike 2, and Boyd comes set again as that one's almost eye level, 2-2 the count. But that pitch before was a breaking ball. Looked like it was going to tail outside, but able to find the outside corners, crossing the plate. Had the 2-2 pitch. Comes from Boyd, and this one is a slicing ball, foul ball over on the third base side. We'll try the 2-2 again.
I'd have to check the bat there. Sounded almost like that one got splintered, but he's going to keep it with him and hit with it again with the 2-2 count now.
Aguilar at the plate, and then Brady Bell over on first. 3-2 our score here in favor of the East All-Stars. We're in the bottom of the 6th, 2-2 the count with one away. And this one is hitting a little flare out there into left field. Able to work under it and get underneath it for out number 2. I believe Donaldo Perez. So after the single by Brady Bell, a good bounce back at bat there for Braden Boyd getting out number 2, and that'll bring up Thomas Jeffries, who is responsible for the 2 runs for the West All-Stars here tonight on that 2 RBI double back in the 2nd.
If you look at the flags up top the scoreboard in the right top-hand corner of your screen, and then straightaway center as well, the wind blowing hard in from left field and really making it tough on these left-handed hitters. 3 straight lefties now in this West All-Stars lineup.
And Jeffries looks at strike 1, and now an off-speed pitch here from Boyd way out in front of that 0-2 now at the count. And so Boyd just 1 strike away from getting out of the 6th inning, keeping the lead for the East intact. As he glances over and getting a good jump is Bell. Holding up on the swing is Jeffries. No throw. It'll be a stolen base for Brady Bell. He gets himself in a scoring position, and 1-2 now the count to Thomas Jeffries.
The last time Jeffries had runners in scoring position was back when he had that 2 RBI double. If he can come through here, he'll have every single run coming off of his bat.
So here comes the 1-2, swing right back to Braden Boyd, and just able to underhand it over to his teammate, both on this All-Star game and with the Texarkana Twins, Troy Black. So nothing will come out of the base hit by Brady Bell as we go to the top of the 7th. 3-2 still the score in favor of the East All-Stars. And now for the last 3 innings of this game, I'm going to turn it back over to Kyle Yeomans.
Thank you very much, Nick. And Braden Boyd, I should say, having another great outing, even though he did give up that single down the line to Brady Bell. Really nothing going again. No runs, only 1 hit, 1 runner left on base, no errors in the inning. Quick little summary for you real fast as we do head to the 7th inning. 3-2 is our score. The West All-Stars trail the East All-Stars. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the East. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the West. The 2 runs from the West All-Stars came off of the bat of a 2 RBI double of Thomas Jeffries variety back in the second inning. And then three innings of which the East have been able to scratch across a run. They scratched across 1 run in the second inning off the bat of Hunter Hearn and a ground out. Then a Jalen Keys single in the 5th scored a run. And then the solo shot, a bomb right down the line in left field from Handsome Monica, the pinch hitter, was able to make it a 3-2 lead for the East All-Stars. A great night so far from Bryan, Texas. Kyle Yeomans alongside Nick Laupius bringing you the 2017 TCL All-Star Game, brought to you by Game On Sports. And new pitcher on the mound for the West All-Stars, you have Emily Leger. Leger listed at 5'10", 175. He's out of Lafayette, Louisiana, and a pitcher out of Northwestern State University out of the Southland Conference. And the freshman D1 pitcher and the right-hander will be faced with the 8-9-1 hitters due up in the order. A pair of generals to start things off with Dakota Phillips and Jordan Wiley, and then Jalen Keys up at the top of the order. A big hack, as it looked like Dakota Phillips was trying to give his best Handsome Monica impression there and send a solo shot over the wall in right field. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. This one's fouled hard into the parking lot. Probably hitting my truck somewhere over there, and hopefully not.
Just a quick stats here on Leger. 2-1 on the season, has appeared in 11 games, none of those being starts. It's a 4.39 ERA. He's pitched in 14 and a third innings. 14 strikeouts in those innings of work.
This one just completely
look at that bounce
sailed
off of the.
Wow.
We talked about it in the lively backstop, and looked like it might have hit the lip or the upper edge of the backstop and almost made its way fully back to Leger.
That one just sailed out of the hands. Looked like a circle change. He just lost the grip on in the middle of his pitching motion. It's 1-2 now, the count to Phillips, and this one misses high up near the eyes. This is now even at 2 apiece. TCL All-Star Game action. Of course, there is still a second half of the season to come. A lot of these teams will be back in action starting on Fridays. This one's popped high in the air on the left side. Hellman's underneath it, and he'll make the snag for out number 1. Gunnar Halter re-entered into the game at shortstop. Of course, we did talk about how there is unlimited substitutions in the game, and apparently because of the announcement from the PA, Craig off and to our left, we are playing 10 innings in this game, so an extra inning for everybody involved.
And this situation is a little bit similar for Leger, as 7 of his 11 appearances so far this season for the Cane Cutters has only been 1 inning of work, so coming in for 1 inning is nothing new to Leger.
It's a great stat. Well done, Nick. Pulling that one. Jordan Wiley at the plate. Wiley's 0 for 2. Flew out deep in the right field his first at bat, and then he grounded out to second base. He's going to foul this one straight back our direction, as it's 2-1.
Leger has also hit a few times for the Cane Cutters. I'm not sure if you want his batting stats here.
For the Generals, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, no, okay.
No,
I see.
Cutters.
Okay, Leger, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'll do it after this pitch.
Yeah, this one misses high.
So he's batted in 10 games, has 23 at-bats, hitting 174. Does have 4 hits on the season and 4 RBIs, and has drawn 5 walks, actually.
And he's going to draw another one here as he'll make his way down to first base via the walk, and the pinch hitter will make his way to the dish from the Texarkana Twins. It's Chandler Robertson.
Robertson's been solid again for the Twins so far this season. And that Texarkana Twins did get off to a bit of a slow start, but past nearly 3 weeks or so has showed what they're capable of, a dangerous lineup, and Robertson just one of those dangerous pieces in that Texarkana Twins lineup.
First pitch, runner goes, and this one's going to make its way inside and plunk Chandler Robertson. So the first pitch, the runner steals, and then the throw from Emily Leger ends up going inside, and Clucking Robertson.
Looks like Troy Black now coming in off the Texarkana Twins for the East lineup. So back-to-back Twins batters making their way to the plate.
Yeah, a lot of big lineup changes here in the 7th inning. Saw them defensively in the 6th. It's the pitch from Leger, and it's outside, 1-0.
The stats here on Troy Black has played in 14 games so far. The .385 batting average. Drawn 9 walks, 9 RBIs, 20 hits, 2 doubles.
Runner goes, and this one sails in the left field. Jordan Wiley tripped coming around third base, but he's in easily into home plate as the throw from Josh Aguilar sailed way high. He had that base stolen easily at third base, but the throw does count as an error, and that'll score a run as well. So that's the first error of the ballgame for the West All-Stars, and the East lead now grows to a 4-2 lead.
It's the 3rd inning in a row that the East have put up 1 run. Let's look back, the 5, 6, and now 7th. All have ones on the board in the top of the inning. Now still with a runner on second, only 1 away, trying to put up a crooked number.
Fastball misses high on the 1-2 count. It's now 2-2. Troy Black, another player who likes to have a lot of fun. If you watch him before batting practice, he's dancing around in the field in between innings, dancing around. Likes to stay loose and continue to keep his teammates loose as well, as there's a big strike on the outside corner. And Black stood up and didn't necessarily know that call was coming, but it is strike 3. No punch out, though, from the home plate umpire. It was a
little bit
quiet
confusion
strikeout
there.
call.
Black kind of looking back and making a face at the home plate umpire. But like you said, Troy Black, just one of those teammates you love to have on your team, is always making sure everyone's having fun and out there just enjoying the game. That's what baseball's all about. It's a great game. It's obviously such a blessing for these guys to be able to go out there and play at this level. And this looks like the 3rd straight Texarkana Twin at the plate.
3rd straight Twin at the dish in the form of Alex Rodriguez. 2-0 the count from Emily Leger. It's 4-2 in favor of the East All-Stars. The West All-Stars are the home team, and we are playing 10 innings. So even though we are in the top of the 7th inning, still a lot of baseball to be played. This one misses high. 3-0 now the count. 2 outs in the inning. Runner on second base. This is the 3rd straight half inning in which the East have been able to scratch across a single run. We were originally down 2-1 off of the double from Thomas Jeffries that scored 2 runs back in the 2nd inning, and it's called a strike. It's now 3-1 to Rodriguez. 5th run of the ball game, just standing on second base 180 feet away, but instead it misses high from Leger, and it's now runners at first and second with 2 down. Donaldo Perez, or as his teammates like to call him, Donnie Perez, making his way to the dish. Perez on the afternoon, he's officially 0 for 1, but he's walked twice and scored a run. Flew out in his last at bat, walked in his previous 2.
And Perez always a dangerous hitter for the Cane Cutters, and I know the Bombers have seen a lot of him so far this season. We've gotten a lot of looks at him. Looks like takes a pitch in the outside corner, strike 1.
So 0-1 pitch hit high and deep in the right center field. On comes Mang. Mang can't get there. It's going to drop in front of him. 1 run's going to score. The throw to second is not in time to snag Alex Rodriguez. Thought that one may have been enough to get Rodriguez as he was having to turn around and retreat back to the bag. But instead, it's now 5-2. The East All-Stars continue to grow their lead, and another base hit for an East All-Stars hitter. And Donaldo Perez will have an RBI single. 5-2 now the score. Runners at first and second. Here comes head coach Brock Ward. That's interesting for me to say.
That's a little bit different.
His Bombers and managing overall debut. But he is out onto the pitching mound. Not a stranger to pitching visits, though, and mound visits. As he has had plenty of those as the pitching coach for the Brazos Valley Bombers. But now talking to Emily Leger. Leger faced up with his teammate Daniel LaHare as the next hitter. Runners at first and second. The situation remains the same with 2 outs, but 1 run does come across as well. It's 5-2. The East All-Stars leading here in Bryan. Brandon Ivey warming up in the bullpen for the West. Watch out, this one's high, up and in to LaHare.
Another cane cutter versus cane cutter.
And last time, this did not go in the way of the pitcher. It went in the way of Handsome Monica. Here's a hard hit fly ball, but John Grimsley is there in right field for out number 3. So 3 outs are made, but not before the East All-Stars tack on a pair more as we head to the 7th inning stretch. Here in the middle of the 7th inning, it's 5-2. Now the score between the East All-Stars and the West All-Stars. The East lead it after 6.5. Thank you again for joining us here on Game On Sports. As looks like there's a bunch of fans standing around and having their fun at the ballpark. It has been an entertaining evening, to say the least. A lot of fans here in attendance, and even without the Bombers being the main team in really on the field, it's been very interactive between the crowd tonight, and it's been a lot of fun.
That's a great baseball town here in Bryan College Station area. The Aggies aren't playing. They love to turn to the Bombers and the TCL, and all started out with the home run derby earlier today, and it's been really just a great matchup on the field. As the East now has a 3-run lead, but we've seen some great pitching. We saw that monster home run by Handsome Monica. We've seen some nice plays in the field. We've seen a little bit of everything here tonight, and not to mention we've got a nice breeze coming in. It's been a beautiful evening for the All-Star Game here tonight.
We have mentioned earlier we are playing 10 innings instead of 9 to get in a couple extra substitutions, making sure every player does get their time in the spotlight. New pitcher on the mound from the Texarkana Twins, and coming in for the East All-Stars, Billy Fogel out of Fulshear, Texas, Stillman College, out of the NAIA ranks. And Fogel, now the 7th different pitcher on the mound for the East All-Stars.
We'll try and pull up the stats here on Fogel here as the Texarkana Twins pitcher. A little bit of a slow internet right now.
Oh, that's okay.
Still working to pull it up.
I think I'll get it quicker. I'm going to race you.
Uh-oh. Oh, you have the advantage right now.
But John Grimsley to lead things off, and I did pull it up before you did. Listed at 6'2", 205. We mentioned out of Stillman College. He has a 1-2 record overall with a 4.43 ERA. This is his 10th appearance. He's made 9 appearances in the first half, only 2 of them being starts. Made his first 2 appearances as a starter, and then after that came out of the bullpen. And it's safe to say he has had more success out of the bullpen as this one goes over the head of John Grimsley. He's only given up 2 earned runs in, looks like, 15 innings of bullpen relief. And then in the 9 innings of being a starter, gave up 10 earned runs. So definitely better out of the bullpen as this one's fouled off. That'll make the count 1-1 to John Grimsley.
Grimsley looking to avoid the hat trick here tonight. Already struck out twice so far. Looking to get on base and get something going here for the West All-Stars here in the 7th inning. Again, trailing now 5-2. Only 3 hits on the night for the West All-Stars.
Grimsley moving around the outfield, has played all 3 positions already in the game as this one misses outside. It's now 3-1.
On, here we go. I finally got the stats pulled up.
Oh, good.
wait.
Oh, we've already read them. Darn. That's okay.
Took a little bit.
It's worth a shot. Waiting on deck, you have Jonathan Artiguez. There is ball 4 to John Grimsley, so he will avoid the hat trick at least for now, and that's some great news if you're the West lineup, because now you have the bottom of your order due up. You have the top just coming up in a matter of hitters and a leadoff man on. This is a big opportunity for a crooked number and trying to get back into this ball game.
Yeah, and you said getting the leadoff runner on, maybe getting it back to the top of the order with one or two runners on base, and just one. It'd be just one hit away from close game.
Grimsley goes. The throw is not in time, and he's going to be safe into second base with a stolen bag. Didn't take long for Grimsley to show off the speed. We talked about it earlier. Doesn't necessarily light the statistical columns up in terms of stolen bases, but he does have speed, and you saw it there. He was in easily. Only listed at 5'7", and the outfielder out of University of Houston, the Cougar, continues to show off the lightning fast wheels.
You talk about not lighting up the stats, and that's because he did come in rather late here in the TCL, so hasn't had the full experience here in the TCL.
This is the first at bat, though, for Jonathan Artiguez. Now, with a runner at second base, if you look at the infield, you can see Alex Rodriguez playing extremely far toward the bag, up the middle, and a little bit of a shift. Both the corners playing on the line. Here's the pitch from Fogel. It's in the turf, blocked behind the bag by Monica. It's now 1-1. Wonder what kind of conversations that Artiguez and Monica are having at the dish right now. Two cane cutters, just a matter of feet away. The only cane cutters on the field except for the right fielder. Also out of Acadiana. Here's a hard hit in the hole. There's a diving stop from Wiley. He's going to bobble it on the way up, but there's a base hit as that one was in the hole. It was going to be a tough play for Jordan Wiley, but because of it, John Grimsley has to stay put at second base. There are runners at first and second. Now up at the plate is Gunnar. I take that back. It's not Gunnar Halter. This is Casey Mack, as he was inputted into the 9-hole in the lineup. He was originally in the 4-hole.
Subs all over the place. Unlimited subs.
Yeah.
Now we get to rearrange the order here. And going back to that play by Wiley, it's a good job able to range over to his right and keep it in front of him.
Here's a deep fly ball. Back goes Perez all the way back to the warning track, but it's playable for out.
Look at the speed here by Grimsley.
And Grimsley's trying to swipe second. He does off of the deep fly ball. Like you said, what speed and what confidence in the speed to try and tag up on the ball to left field. Now, it was about as deep as can be, and Casey Mack was just but a couple feet away from tying this ball game up.
And I'm just going to finish my thought here about the Wiley play, able to keep it in front of him, and that prevented Grimsley from getting to third base on that at bat. But we just saw there the speed from Grimsley, and like you said, the confidence.
Could have saved a run, just being able to knock that ball down, especially with the speed that Grimsley possesses. Now Gunnar Halter at the dish. He takes inside for ball 1. Runners at the corners, 1 out in the inning. 5-2 our score. The East lead it in the West at the dish, as Gunnar Halter facing against his teammate Billy Fogel. Fogel comes set. Looks into Halter. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. And it's going to bounce away from a handsome Monica. And in comes John Grimsley to score a run. That one just barely popped out of the mitt of Monica. The stolen bag from Jonathan Artiguez. And just like that, it's 5-3. Heads up base running from the West All-Stars. And we're back within 2-run ball game.
Now, if there's a different runner on third, I don't think that run scores. But
That's a great point.
We see it, the confidence and just the speed, the pure speed of Grimsley. I mean, that ball was not very far behind the plate. Grimsley able to realize how much room, how much time he had, and able to get the West All-Stars to within 2 now.
And there's a big swing and a miss from Halter again. It's caught by Monica behind the plate. 1-2 the count now to the Toronto Blue Jays draft pick. So far on the day, 0 for 3 for Gunnar Halter. Looking to change his fate here, and now representing the tying run after the Grimsley run came in to score. I guess he was representing it previous, but my point still stands. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch to Halter. Outside, ball 2. 2-2. The count's now even.
I'm still excited about the fact we get an extra inning of baseball tonight.
Yeah.
We get the 10th inning, get some free baseball here. It's still a very close game, a 2-run game, and the West All-Stars do have a runner in scoring position with 1 away.
There's a chopper foul near the first base or third base dugout, and a nice play by Dalton Stark.
Is that
just
Stark?
Off the edge of your screen, barehanding that one. 2-2 the count. It's like handsome Monica is chilling with Billy Fogel on the mound. What are the chances that the battery has that great of names between the two of them? Billy Fogel and then handsome Monica. Gunnar Halter's a great name too. It's unique.
Some great names around the battery here.
Yeah. 2-2 the count to Halter. Fogel comes set. Runner on second. 1 out in the inning. 5-3 our score. The East lead it. And it's a called strike 3 on the outer corner. Down goes Halter on strikes for the second time tonight, and decided to give the side eye to the home plate umpire on his way back to the dugout. And
his teammate gets the better of him there.
Yeah, he does.
Texarkana Twins pitcher Fogel strikes out his teammate. So I think we've seen, other than the home run from handsome Monica, the pitchers have really got the better of their teammates at the plate. Again, aside from that monster shot.
So Hellman hitting from the right side, runner at second base. Both the middle infielders still bouncing around, as this one's going to bounce all the way back to the backstop. And up goes Artiguez, 90 feet. Now he finds himself just 90 feet away, as Michael Hellman with an RBI opportunity could make this a one-run ball game.
It just shows how close this really is. Before this inning, it really felt like the East kind of had this under control. They were getting some solid pitching and had a couple of runs come across, and now it's a couple of good hits, some solid base running for the West. And like you said, they have the runner on third. Could make it a one-run game here.
Breaking pitch misses inside. It's now 1-1. Hellman does have the pop to leave the yard. Has not hit one in this ballpark just yet. He's hit all 3 of his home runs on the road. He did hit a couple today in the home run derby. But he does have 3 on the season, and with 1 swing of the bat could tie this game up. Instead, he pops it high in the air. It should creep out of play, and it does. It'll land on
behind the press box.
It was waiting for a thud. I was waiting for a thud above us, but I think it did make its way into the Sterling Auto Group courtyard. Every foul ball, of course, brought to you by Oscar and Sons Body Shop, serving the Bryan College Station area for over 30 years. 1-2 now the count to Michael Hellman, the future Texas A&M Aggie, who missed the first part of the home run derby and showed up late because he had orientation. Broken bat in the left field. That's going to find a hole, and there's an RBI single for Hellman. And Tiguez comes in to score, and the West are back within 1. Great job of hitting and muscling that one into left field. The broken bat, as you can see it on the way back to the dugout. The handle looping just a little bit farther down than what it should be, but it did get the job done, and it's an RBI single for Michael Hellman.
And Michael Hellman really took Billy Fogel to school at that at-bat. So he's coming out of orientation today and
that was a lame joke.
Doing a little bit of teaching himself here at the game. No, not a fan of that one? I thought it was all right.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Either way, it was a good piece of hitting from Hellman and driving the run from third.
It was.
Back to a one-run
I'll agree
game.
with you on that one.
Just not my delivery, huh?
Yeah, I would probably say that. You look at all the runs that have come across today. It's either been off of the bat of a bomber or on the pass ball from John Grimsley. 2 runs from Thomas Jeffries. This RBI single from Hellman. As Hellman does go on the pitcher, he's going to slide in head first into second, and it's going to be a stolen bag. A called strike as Jared Mang and the home plate umpire have a stare down of the ages just below the bottom of your screen. And
that was intense just looking at it.
Wow. I thought Jared Mang was about to go John Cena mode. I thought it was only a matter of time, but it is a stolen bag for Hellman, but not without the strike being called. It's 0-2 to Jared Mang. His teammate 180 feet away from tying this ball game up at 5. Fogel comes set. 2 runs already across in the inning, matching what the East were able to do in the top of the inning. This one's inside, a called ball, 1-2.
So Jared Mang does have a home run in this ballpark early on this season over left field side. So has the power, has been able to leave Nutribult. See if he can do something here. Count 2-2 with 2 away. The tying run on second base.
So after the, looks like the pause in action as Fogel steps off the mound. Mang steps out as well, but steps right back in. 2-2. Runner at second, 2 outs in the inning. 5-4 is our score. No rhyme intended. Fogel comes set. Here's the pitch. Outside, 3-2. So ever since Mang went down 0-2 in the count, he has worked his way back to 2-2 as we get a clarification from the home plate umpire. Thought it was a full count, but I guess not.
Mang able to battle back either way and even up
That's
the count
true.
here.
Good point. It's the pitch from Fogel. This one's hit high and deep in the left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It's going to hook foul, but not by much. Mang had all of it, but had all of it about 10 feet too far to the left.
I was ready to play the John Cena music.
Oh, man.
I was going to call it out. Poked just at the last second. The wind was coming in that way. Either it was coming in right to left. Probably didn't help Mang's cause there, but either way, count still 2-2.
Just a long, negated strike. 2-2. Mang is going to find a hole on the right side. Hellman's being waved around third. It's going to be a close play at the plate. Hellman slides in head first. It's a tie ball game. Mang on his way to second base. And the West have come back to tie it up here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 5-5 here from Brian.
Mang said, I'll drive in a run anyway. This time he'll do it opposite field, finding a gap between first and second. Hellman showing off the speed is coming to score all the way from second. The throw was a little bit behind the runner, but it doesn't matter. We have a whole new ball game now, 5-5.
What a great job of hitting from this middle of the lineup. We talked about it earlier. They had been relatively quiet, especially the top of the lineup for the West, all throughout the first 6 innings of this ball game. But now, off of the stolen base from Hellman, the single from Mang, not to mention Grimsley and Tiguez being able to get on, it is a tie ball game, 5-5. Brady Bell back to the plate, and he'll take this one low for ball 1. The go-ahead run now sitting in second base in scoring position as the West have now turned this around, and all the momentum has shifted here in Nutrabolt Stadium.
Should note here, the wind has started to pick up again, coming in from, looks like, right center field.
This is a rip, and it's going to get over the outstretched glove of Rodriguez. Brock Ward sending Mang around third. It's close play at the plate, and the throw is in time. What a throw from left field.
What a play.
The East avoid giving up the lead yet again. And the cane cutter out in left, still looking for a jersey number. It's number 8, Daniel LaHare, with an absolute dime to the dish. Jared Mang being waved around third and was hosed at the plate, but not by a lot. That throw was on point, and it needed to be there. If it were anywhere else but that spot, it looked like Mang had definitely enough speed to get around third and take the lead.
And even if that throw was 2 inches over to the right, that's a run for the West All-Stars, but right on the money. Catcher not even having to move his glove, gets it right in his glove and able to swipe Mang out at the plate. So, again, we've seen it all here tonight. We've seen a couple of spectacular defensive plays, and now we go to the top of the 8th. We're tied at 5. What a game this has been. Looks like new pitcher on the mound will be a Bomber. I believe Brandon Ivy.
It is indeed Brandon Ivy on the mound. He'll be the 8th West All-Stars pitcher. 1 per inning. You have Ross Bluta warming up in the bullpen, another Bomber. So with 10 innings of work, you're going to see 20 different pitchers. 10 per each team. And Brandon Ivy coming out of Navarro Junior College and on his way to play for the University of Texas in Austin, being a Texas Longhorn. Making another appearance. He's also, along with Reed Morgan, been really shut down in the middle of that Bombers bullpen. Started off as a starter this year, had 3 starts in his first 3 appearances, and then after that he's made 4 appearances in relief. He's 2-1 with a 1.87 ERA. Had a hiccup in his last outing on June 3rd against the Generals right here at Nutrabolt Stadium, and ended up getting the loss there in a thirds of innings of pitching. Only gave up 2 earned runs, gave up a hit, but he walked 3. So Ivy on the mound for the West All-Stars after freshly coming off a 3-run inning in which they tied the ball game at 5. And we are all knotted up as we head to the 8th inning, playing 10 innings here in the 2017 TCL All-Star Game, might I add. So it's 5-5. Here's a chopper down the third baseline. Hellman coming forward in one motion. The throw to first is in time to retire Ansem Monica for out number 1. Another nice play by the infield of the West All-Stars.
This is good hustle by Hellman. A slow chopper over just in the middle of the infield green-colored turf, but able to field it and get over to first in time.
First pitch is missed low to Hunter Hearn. Hearn, of course, with his truck parked out in center field. It'd be funny if it were.
So what? Yeah, I was about to ask.
If it were him that hit the truck,
what would happen if he hits the
truck?
I'm
not really sure.
Does he
win the bet?
Yeah, I mean,
does he lose the bet?
But if he wins, what does he win? Because
I don't know. That'd be interesting. This one spikes almost halfway between home plate and the pitcher's mound. That'll make it 2-1 to Hearn.
Well, the wind's blowing in, so I'm not sure if there's a good chance for that.
What a predicament we have thought ourselves into. Here's a big swing and a miss from Hearn. It's 2-2.
We've done that a few nights. We're still trying to figure out the alignment.
The alignment for
the East-West
geography of the TCL.
Still trying to figure that out now. Getting into.
I don't think we're ever going to figure that one out, Nick. I think we're done on that one. I don't know if we're going to figure out the truck one either. Here's a hard ground ball to Hellman at third and the throw across the diamond.
Well, we won't have to worry about it until the next time he comes up to the plate.
I want to see it happen just to see exactly
what a story that would be. What a story, huh?
Hearn crushes home run to center field, hits own truck. That's the headline on the Eagle, written by Robert Cessna.
Comma, wins bet. Or wait, would he win bet or lose bet? He loses the bet.
Bet in question. Here's a rip down the right field line. That's going to go for extra bases. Dakota Phillips taking the big turnaround first. It's going to be a close play at second. One hop in there, and the tag is in time. No, it's not. Oh, my goodness. Called safe at second base. The throw from John Grimsley was on a line. Gunnar Halter was there. No real kind of...
That's a tough angle for us up here. Not sure if maybe he was...
That was a close play. I thought he had got him. I thought it was not even close, but it did look like
tag
Phillips,
applied.
That's the thing.
The throw definitely beat him.
Yes.
But was the tag applied, or was he able to maneuver around the tag and still get on second? Because the throw beat him by at least 2 steps.
That's what I was about to say. It looked like Phillips may have had a chance to duck around the tag as this one misses low. I'm going to pull this up on the stream that I'm watching. There is a lag between us and then the actual stream going to the computers. And I'm going to look and see what exactly happened. 5-5 our score. Tie ball game in the top of the 8th inning. 2 outs and an 0-2 count now to Jordan Wiley after the Dakota Phillips 2-out double. And a controversial call at second base. So Ivy looking to get out of the inning unscathed. And he does get this one fouled straight back to the screen. I do have it up on the computer now. I'm looking at the tag, and it did actually looked
like he might have lifted up his hand to avoid the tag, and then kind of a little bit like a swim move.
Nice play.
A little bit of freestyle.
And a nice, real awareness from Dakota Phillips to get around the tag there. The throw was on the money. 0-2 the count remains. This one misses high. So it was the right call. And somebody has lost the keys to their Ford. You don't drive a Ford, do you, Nick?
I do not. I drive a Honda.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's not one of our buddies from Sterling Auto Group. One of the official partners of the Brazos Valley Bombers. 2-2 the count. Runner at second, 2 outs in the inning. Jordan Wiley at the dish. You have Dakota Phillips at second base. Popped high in the air on the right side. Giving chases Jeffries. And Tiguez is over there as well. Jeffries can't get there in time.
I thought he'd made that catch initially.
That was close. Right in front of the 1150, the zone party deck. And Jeffries almost made a Sports Center type grab against the wall, but instead the count will remain at 2-2.
It's already had one impressive grab over there, having to really dodge the second baseman after he makes the catch. Had to kind of leap over him and almost had a second one there. Count remains 2-2.
And a called strike 3 from Brandon Ivy will set down Jordan Wiley. That is only the 3rd strikeout of an East hitter throughout the game, and the first one looking. That one was pretty big with the tying, or the go-ahead run, I should say, sitting on second base. We head to the middle of the 8th inning here at Nutrabolt Stadium. We're still tied up 5-5 our score. And Sweet Caroline ringing throughout the stadium. Of course, a big tradition here. All the opposing teams probably dread this half inning of having to warm up in the middle of it. And the fans always into Sweet Caroline. You can see that below us now.
It's a great baseball song.
Great baseball song. Of course, famous with the Boston Red Sox. And
the Boston Red Sox.
The Boston Red Sox. You never heard of them, have you?
No, I haven't, no.
Didn't think so. A lot of the fans still sticking around for these later innings as we are in the middle of the 8th inning. Kyle Yeomans alongside Nick Laupius bringing you the 2017 TCL All-Star Game presented by Game On Sports.
We are playing 10 innings.
We are playing 10 innings. So as we head to the bottom of the 9th, later on in the game, we are in the middle of the 8th. Look at Kaboom making the rounds. It won't be as intense of a saying, I should say.
It's good to see Kaboom getting in on Sweet Caroline. Everyone loves
Kaboom
it here at
always
Nutrabolt.
loves Kaboom. Everyone loves Kaboom. Of course, an added time of warming up for the Sweet Caroline middle inning. And why not? You got to enjoy your time.
It's great to see how much these fans really enjoy the game here. The whole atmosphere here at Nutrabolt the first half of the TCL season has been incredible. Some great fans. They always have some great traditions, just this being one of them. And this is just, again, I mentioned a little bit earlier, this city, this town really enjoys their sport and their sporting events, and especially baseball. And A&M is done for the season, done for the summer, turn all their attention to the Bombers. And it's great to have the TCL All-Star Game here in front of some really passionate fans here in the Bryan College Station area.
Only the third time in 11 seasons that the Bombers have been able to host the TCL All-Star Game, but every time it is a spectacle, and they have a lot of fun doing so. And so now, as the Sweet Caroline does get turned down just a bit, Josh Aguilar will start things off and lead things off for the West All-Stars. The West coming off of a 3-run bottom of the 7th inning, in which they went from trailing 5-2 to tying the game up at 5-5. Of course, new pitcher on the mound.
Looks like Garrett Alexander for the Victoria Generals. Get the stats pulled up on him here briefly.
And I would expect in the 10th inning to see Jordan Hackett, I should say. Missed all of them. Jordan Hackett, as this one's fouled straight back to make the count 1-1. Jordan Hackett leading the TCL in saves for the Victoria Generals, and coming out of one of my favorite universities to announce, Our Lady of the Lake University out of the Red River Conference. Both of those being great names. It's a lake and a river. What more could you ask for? It's a pitch from Alexander, missing low. It's 2-1 now, the count out Aguilar. Aguilar in his first at-bat after coming in for Drake Osborne flew out into left field. On deck you have Thomas Jeffries with 2 RBIs already on the night. This was a broken back, swung on and hit right back up the middle. The throw to first is off the bag, but the tag is placed for out number 1. That bat went all the way into the netting behind home plate, almost got hung up in the screen. Dangerous play, as really the entire bat remained intact, except for where the hands were placed on the handle. Everything else was there.
A lot going on that play. First, you had the broken bat almost sticking in the net. You had a slow chopper, Wiley able to make the play. Throw was a little bit over the head of Troy Black. Black able to go up, catch it, and then actually tag the runner to get the first out. So a little bit of a crazy play to get the first out of the inning. Real quick, the stats here on the pitcher. Garrett Alexander has appeared in 12 games. Hasn't started in any of them. Has 27 strikeouts and 16 innings pitched. Has a 1-1 record for the Generals in the first half of this season.
So a great season so far for the Victoria bullpen arm. Now faced up against Thomas Jeffries. Jeffries, of course, we talked about the 2 RBI double. He's 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Takes this one inside. It's now 1-2. 1 out on the inning. Bottom of the 8th. 5-5 our score. 5 runs, 6 hits for both squads. The only difference in the box score so far is 2 errors for the East All-Stars and only 1 error for the West. You have Jeffries hitting from the left side as he takes this one low. It's 2-2, count now even.
It's pretty awesome to see just how even the scoreboard is. Like you said, the only difference is an extra error for the East All-Stars, but other than that, it's been completely evenly matched.
This one's taken high, count now full to Jeffries. Jeffries, before this week, had long flowing locks and a grizzly-looking beard. Now he just has the mustache. Cut it all off. Was a part of the NBC K-Ags interview before the game. As this one's chopped on the right side, it's going to be corralled by Troy Black. And Taking the first, he slipped off the bag, but he did end up hitting the bag. Wow.
That's the second time we saw in the first inning Mike Makma slip off the bag, and then now Troy Black. I'm not sure if maybe it's just running over there a little bit too quickly, or if there's something, because I mean those are the only two problems we've seen so far tonight. The runners haven't had any trouble, so maybe it's just kind of going and touching the base a little bit too quickly. As Makma in the first had a little bit of trouble, he was fine. Troy Black stumbled there, able to make the play though, and gets right back up, and he looks to be fine as well.
And we have talked about the bases before and our own broadcast with the Bombers, but some of the Bombers players have complained about how hard these bases actually are, don't have a whole lot of give to them, and so it's hard to get some traction with the cleats. So that one may have been a prime example of that. First pitch, a strike to John Grimsley. It's 0-1. 2 outs now in the inning as this one goes above the head of Grimsley.
Almost.
Watch out. That one almost came off of
You got to look out
concrete
twice.
and hit him again. Double the trouble with the concrete behind home plate.
Almost hit his bat on the way back.
Would that have been a foul ball?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
I
don't
think so.
I tell you, we've had a couple of philosophical questions being brought up tonight.
I think the best one was who would win the bet with Hunter Hearn's truck parked down in center field. Here's a big swing and a miss, as it's now 1-2 to John Grimsley.
I think either way, Hearn loses because then his truck gets hit.
Oh, good point. We may have just solved
There we go.
the unsolvable mystery.
It wasn't that hard. Just it took about an inning or so.
What if it hits the tire?
Well, now we got to think this game.
Here's the pitch from Alexander, swung on a missed, and there is the hat trick for John Grimsley, his third strikeout of the evening, and the ninth strikeout, I should say, from a Western All-Star in the first 8 innings. We are playing 10, but we do head to the 9th. And the All-Stars of the East and the West tied up at 5 apiece, as Ross Bluda will make his way out on the mound. This will be the 9th Western All-Star pitcher, and I believe this will be the 5th that is in a Bombers uniform.
I don't think we've. I think you might be right. He's going back.
What were you going to say? It has been a long night.
Well, I was going to say I don't think we've seen Osua, but I looked down. He came in the second inning, so.
Some of the numbers on Ross Bluda, though, on the season coming out of the University of Houston, Victoria, playing for the Bombers. He has a 3-2 record with a 2.58 ERA. He had 5 appearances in the first half, 4 of those coming in starts. He had 1 complete game shutout.
Dizzy Noodle race here is always a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, look at the Dizzy Noodle race. It's a tag team race today.
That's the first I've seen of
Usually
this.
it's 4 at a time.
Now, you want to give us your best play-by-play on the Dizzy Noodle race?
And the guy off and to the left in the maroon continues to slow down. He started off quickly, but the green is going to come out on top. He's going to make it all the way to the home plate, and the run is there. I don't know. That was really bad. There's a reason I'm talking about baseball.
I've never seen a
That's okay.
Dizzy Noodle race.
You just got to say it like
before.
horse racing. It's got to be very quick and upbeat and very exciting throughout. Probably not.
Well, I thought you did well on that, being thrown in there.
Yeah, you put me on the spot. I didn't do as well. Ross Bluda on the mound, though, for the Bombers. We were talking about his statistics. He's pitched 24 1/3 innings pitched. He struck out 10, walked 7. He's given up 21 hits, but he has only given up 7 earned runs, and 6 of those 7 came in 1 outing against the Generals in his home ballpark in Victoria. So now Chandler Robertson, I should say, to lead things off. The first pitch from Bluda misses outside. Bluda extremely excited for his All-Star opportunity. Got to chat with him before the game. Talked about how blessed he is to be in this position and happy to be here. There's a big swing and a miss from Robertson. It's 1-1.
Well-earned spot on this All-Star team. Like you talked about giving off the stats he's had so far for the Bombers. He's really been solid, and really the whole bullpen and the arms of the Bombers have been solid all year.
There's a soft grounder foul on the third base side as Bluda now finds himself up in the count 1-2 to Chandler Robertson. Robertson, after coming in for Jalen Keys, was hit by a pitch back in the 7th inning and then came around to score a run. That was the final run that the Eastern All-Stars have been able to scratch across today. Nice to see Alante Wingate in attendance on the third base side.
All smiles down there.
The dugout. Future Texas A&M Aggie. No longer with the Brazos Valley Bombers, unfortunately. Played a lot of shortstop throughout the first half. He won't be there for the second half, though.
The rest will be beneficial to him, as we'll be playing at A&M next year. It'll be good to have the rest of the summer off and kind of recuperate and get ready for off-season workouts.
So 2-2 now the count to Robertson as he took that one low for a ball. Troy Black standing on deck. This one's chopped right back up the middle. It's going to be a tough play for Jonathan Antiguez, and it is going to be a off throw and a base hit in the infield for Chandler Robertson to start off here in the 9th inning.
That was a good effort by the second baseman, and Antiguez? Antiguez. All right.
I said it wrong. That's on me.
Oh, okay.
I'm not being a very good role model here.
Anyway, it was a good effort, and the throw does take the first baseman off the bag, but good effort nonetheless.
One thing we haven't seen tonight, as this one's missed outside, or it's a called strike, I should say.
A late strike call.
It was a late strike call, but it is a strike. One thing we haven't seen tonight, even with all the star-studded power that we have, as this one's fouled off, is a double play. We have yet to see a double play in the game tonight, whether it's from a catch and then a tag up or a throw out or anything of the sort, or even with a ground ball double play in the infield.
Oh, you did
yet to see that.
Yeah, you did talk about it. One of these teams definitely has the speed advantage. Maybe that might be a factor as to why. There's a lot of speed on one team. Just really haven't been a whole lot of opportunities with a lot of runners on base. It's been a lot of one-run innings, and
this one missing low. Count now even at 2-2 to Troy Black. Black is susceptible to a potential ground ball double play if he does put it there. There's a pitch, fouled off again, almost in the exact same spot as his previous foul ball. And that'll keep the count remaining at 2-2, battling in there against Ross Bluda. 5-5 our score, all tied up in the top of the 9th inning. We are playing 10 here in the 2017 TCL All-Star Game. Runner on first, nobody out. This one misses outside. The count now goes to full against Black. And Bluda now in a bit of trouble. Looking to get out of the full count and the runner on first and not put two runners on to start things off in the 9th. It's a pitch. A barely rolling foul ball.
Well, I'm not sure how
he didn't get any of that ball, it seemed like.
I have no clue how he made contact. He was so out in front. But somehow able to make contact, and fortunately for him, that was able to stay foul.
Here's a pop fly deep in the right field. Grimsley is there, and back retreats is Chandler Robertson to the first base bag, and there's out number 1. So just like that, Bluda does get out of the potential jam, I should say. And there's now an out on the board. Alex Rodriguez at the dish, and a big opportunity to get out of this with one swing of the bat, get a ground ball here, and potentially turn 2.
Rodriguez does have a lot of power, though, for the Texarkana Twins.
Faced with the trio of Twins in the top of the order. Here's a skied fly ball. And Tiguez underneath it, and he'll make the play. That one was a moonshot straight up in the air for out number 2. So 2 pitches, 2 outs after struggling to get the first one for Bluda. Got the fly out to right, the pop fly to second. Now he's faced with Donnie Perez hitting in the cleanup spot and runner on first with 2 down. Big swing and a miss from Perez as he was looking to send that one over the GATX sign in left field. Wind continuing to blow in. The sun completely down here in Nutribullet. It has been for some time now. Good thing the rain had held off. Thought there may have been some scattered showers here and there throughout the night, but nothing just yet. Knock on wood. Don't want anything to pop up.
There was a couple of big ominous-looking clouds out there in center field to start off the first few innings, but the looks stayed away and ended up being a beautiful evening, a beautiful sunset, and get some good breeze right now.
This one misses in the turf. It's now 2-1 the count to Donaldo Perez. 5-5 our score as we remain tied in the top of the ninth inning. Bottom of the ninth will not be as intense with the tie ball game as we are playing 10 innings. With the score, it may go to 10 innings regardless, as there's a big swing and a miss from Donaldo Perez. 2-2 now the count. Blue to a strike away from getting out of the ninth inning. Now, if the score does remain tied after 10 innings, they are going to call it as a tie, which would be quite unfortunate for all those involved, but it does add a little bit extra pressure to these lineups coming up to the plate and trying to push across a run and keep the lead.
Sometimes games are so good, teams are so evenly matched, you don't want to see either team lose. Might be the case here tonight. As
runner goes as this one gets away from Aguilar, and easily into second goes Chandler Robertson. The 2-out stolen bag on the pass ball. Full count now to Donnie Perez as Bluta looks to get the best of this payoff pitch. Checks a runner at second. Here's the delivery. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout from Ross Bluta. And down go to the East All-Stars in the ninth. The Bombers not with a chance to win it in the bottom of the ninth, but a chance to severely increase their chances as we're tied at 5 heading to the bottom of the ninth inning in a 10-inning 2017 All-Star game. I want to continue to emphasize that we are playing 10 innings.
Are we playing 10 full innings if the West All-Stars take the lead here?
No. It's going to end as if 10 innings were regulation.
Okay.
I believe.
I'm not sure. I know they want to get everyone in. So
that would be interesting.
God, man, just another tough question.
So many questions tonight that have been posed. Thank you again for joining us, though. We're making you think, and we're also bringing you some great TCL action here on the Game On Sports Production YouTube channel. TCL All-Star Game 2017. Some of the best and brightest throughout the Texas Collegiate League before the second half gets underway. The Bombers coming away with the first half championship as they are on their drive for 5, looking for their 5th straight TCL title. Victoria finished in second with a 16-12 record. They finished 4 games back. Acadiana at 13-13 and even 500. And then the Texarkana Twins and Texas Marshals tied at the bottom of the standings and 10 games back at 10-18 overall through the first 28 games. The Bombers, I did talk about how they were at the top of the TCL standings at 19-7 overall. As the Cane Cutters do have an early lead in the second half standings with a 2-0 record in their first 2 games of the second half. And they also have a new pitcher on the mound representing the East All-Stars in Hayden Mars. Mars coming out of Mississippi State, an SEC caliber player. Only a couple SEC representatives. Michael Hellman for the West All-Stars coming out of Texas A&M. And then you have Mississippi State and Hayden Mars as he will enter into the game as the Cane Cutter versus Cane Cutter matchup. You have Jonathan Artiguez, and then he's faced up against some of the better pitchers in the TCL. And can't help but look out in center field just over the top of your screen. The cop has just pulled up. And I thought maybe just for a second he was about to.
He was going to park right next to the black truck out there.
Maybe ticket Hunter Hearn's truck out in center field. We would have told you exactly who would have lost the bet there. This is the first pitch.
Just real quick, not a lot of looks here at Hayden Mars so far. Has only appeared in 2 games. Showed up a little bit late for the Cane Cutters. Only pitched in 3 2/3 innings so far. Does have 7 strikeouts in those innings of work, though.
Coming out of a super regional team, as it's now 1-1, or 0-2, I should say, to Jonathan Antigues. But Mississippi State and the Bulldogs losing in their super regional to the LSU Tigers. LSU, of course, going all the way to the College World Series finals and dropping those 2 games to the Florida Gators in a very entertaining College World Series final. Here's the 1-2 pitch. This one spiked down low as it's now 2-2. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 9th inning, tie ball game 5-5. As the TCL All-Star Game continuing to go down to the wire. Waiting on deck, you have Casey Mack. This one misses outside. It'll go off the backstop and all the way back out to the mound.
All the way back out there.
He's going to get a new ball, though. Tossing that one off to the side. So 3-2 now the count to Antigues.
Again, a little bit of added pressure here on the mound from Mars, wanting to strike out your teammate, not let him get the better of you.
There's a big swing and a miss for strike 3. It looked like for a second there it was going to end up going into the turf and being a drop third strike, but it looked like Handsome Monica was able to pull that one out of the dirt before it got there, really, for out number 1. That's the 10th strikeout by a Western batter. And Casey Mock now to the plate. Mock in the 9-hole is 0 for 1. Mock in the 4-hole is 0 for 1 as well. But he did have a walk. 0-1 the count. Mock, of course, the son of the Marshall's head coach, Mike Mack. I don't know why I keep calling him Mock. It's Mike Mack. It's Casey Mack. A breaking pitch, called strike. That one 12-6. The bottom just dropped out of it. Went to the bottom of the zone.
We've seen some really good breaking balls by most of the pitchers that have come on so far tonight. A lot of late break on them.
There's the 0-2. This one off of the concrete as well. Let's see if he tosses this one over. He does.
Huh.
Big surprise.
I think I just saw that.
Deja vu. The fans and the hecklers here in the stadium in Nutrebolt giving him a hard time. There's the 1-2. This one misses low as well to Mack. Mississippi State Bulldog versus Southern Mississippi Golden Eagle. An all-Mississippi matchup in the Texas Collegiate League. All-Star Game, I should add.
There we go.
So misses outside. It's 3-2. Were you going to add it for me, or just leave me out to dry?
I was waiting for you. I knew you.
I would come around, right?
I knew you were going to get eventually. Well, Kyle, you and I, we have the same type of scorebooks here, and we're going to be in a little bit of a dilemma. They only go to 9 innings.
That's true.
So I'm not sure.
I don't know what's going to happen here.
Have you ever had to deal with that before?
I have. I'll show you the tricks. So this is a walk issued to Casey Mack, and the runner now on for the top of the order. Gunnar Halter will make his way to the dish, and now with Mack at first base, wouldn't be surprised to see Casey moving here on the pitch, or at least the first couple, as he might try and swipe second base and get into scoring position. Of course, he does represent the winning or the go-ahead run, not the winning run, even though we are in the bottom of the ninth in a tie ball game. Called strike on the inside corner. It's 0-1 now. The count to Halter.
It's a good opportunity here for the West All-Stars. Runner on first with one away. The bottom of the ninth again, playing 10, but at the top of the order, Gunnar Halter at the plate right now. Right underneath him is Michael Hellman. If they can extend it, be Jared Meng would also get a chance, and both Hellman and Meng have a lot of power they've showed so far this season.
Runner does go. Here goes Mack down the middle. He's going to slide in safely into second base. The throw was off and to the left, and just like that, there is that go-ahead run. You talked about the big opportunities for the West All-Stars to try and pull this one out in the late innings. And courtesy of the Texarkana Twins, full-time intern Dylan DeWitt, a good friend of ours, also goes to the University of North Texas. I stand corrected. Couple more SEC foes as this one's fouled straight back in Nick's direction. Watch out, buddy.
The net has me covered.
But Alex Rodriguez and Troy Black both will be on their way and playing for the Kentucky Wildcats in the upcoming season. Troy coming out of Murray State, and then Alex out of Northern Oklahoma College in Tonka. So both of those players will make their way to Kentucky and play for the Wildcats. Not for Coach Calipari, but for the baseball program. 0-2 the count. Now that Gunnar Halter swinging a miss for out number 2. As Halter set down on strikes again, he also having the hat trick, joining John Grimsley in that honor. And I'll bring up Michael Hellman. Hellman has had one of the best hits in this ball game, a broken bat single in the left field to tie the ball game. Or actually, I take that back. It was to bring the ball game back within
one
run. Or back within one, I should say.
I believe, because then Meng had the...
You're exactly right. Meng had a single to drive in Hellman. He has had a stolen bag as well, and he's got another opportunity with a runner in scoring position. Matt goes, the hit and run. It's going to be a ground ball to Jordan Wiley at short to throw in time for out number 3. And we're headed to extra innings officially because we're tied at 5. We were going to play 10 regardless, but let's play 10 anyways.
There we go.
5-5 as we head to the 10th inning, tied up between the Eastern and the Western All-Stars. And one final opportunity for each offense to try and break this tie. We are only going to play 10 innings, nothing further than that. But the big difference is that with the Eastern All-Stars, they'll have the 5, 6, 7 hitters here in the 10th inning. And then on the other side, it'll be the 3, 4, 5 hitters in the inning. Middle of the lineup versus the bottom of the lineup. Now we're going to see what kind of chess match has been played between these two coaches. Brock Ward in his coaching and managing debut in place of the absent Trey Porras. As we are officially in extra innings, Nick Laupius.
Yeah, no. Again, like you said, it would have played 10 regardless, but going into the 10th game tied up at 5. A few more runs. There's 5 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors for the East All-Stars, 5 runs on 6 hits, and 1 error for the West. And it's been... This is exactly what the score says. Evenly matched. We've seen great pitching by both teams. Some great defensive plays. Offense has woken up a little bit here later in the game. Did have that big home run by Handsome Monica, but it's just been a great game to watch and a lot of fun. Really just a great experience here today. The whole day, really, when the players first started showing up, taking batting practice. Had an autograph session. A lot of the kids got to come in and get autographs from their TCL role models, maybe. And again, the home run derby was fantastic. That one also went into extra. That one went into an extra
round there.
Go into
overtime. You're right.
Now we're playing 10 here, and still no one on top. No one can break through and hold on to the lead. 5-5 going to the 10th.
Now, Nick, you did ask me a question. You posed the question in that last inning. How do you move over in the scorebook?
Yes.
You see this little column off and to your right?
Oh, okay.
Just draw in there.
Oh, okay.
No big deal.
All right. But
that's what I've done.
All right. Well, good thing we're only playing 10 tonight, because if we go to 11, what would we do then?
Yeah, that's where we're out of
we run out of room.
New pitcher on the mound for the Western All-Stars to start this 10th inning. It's number 28, Michael Calder. Calder out of Petal, Mississippi. Another Southern Miss Golden Eagle out of the Conference USA. And the sophomore on the mound will start things off with a ball to the Acadiana Cane Cutter and Daniel LaHare. LaHare on the afternoon, 1 for 3 with a walk, a double, and he was stranded at third back in the second inning. A called strike on the outside corner makes it 1-1.
It's good to see Conference USA representing a few players out tonight.
North Texas Mean Green. We don't have a baseball team, but we sure do like the sport. There's a chopper on the right side. It's going to make its way foul before Jeffries could get to it. So the count will now go to 1-2. Still a decent crowd sticking around for the final inning of this one, looking to decide a winner. Maybe if the West All-Stars have it in the cards, a walk-off win in the TCL All-Star Game.
That would be exciting. Be fun to see that.
Thank you again for joining us here on Game On Sports in the edition of the 2017 TCL All-Star Game. Here's a play over at first. LaHare ended up tripping over the bag. The throw was offline. Jeffries couldn't put the tag on LaHare. And so that's going to be an error in the infield as Gunnar Halter kind of took his time a little bit more than I think he even anticipated for.
And they kind of realized it. They had to get the ball out, and the throw wasn't too accurate. Real quick, let me get the stats here on Calder. Michael. He's appeared in 4 games so far. Started 3 of those, has a 1-1 record, a 3.20 ERA. Has pitched in 19 2/3 innings. Has 17 strikeouts in those innings of work, and that's your stat line on Calder and Michael.
Calder listed at 6'1" and $175 on the mound. 1 out. And handsome Monica at the plate, of course, with the solo home run after pinch hitting for Marshall Skinner back in the 6th inning. Hit it over the Baylor Scott and White health sign out in left field over the 15-foot high wall. 1-1 the count, runner at first, 1 out. Actually, nobody out here in the top of the 10th inning. And this one's close on the outside. No call from the home plate umpire, though. We'll let you know who the MVP is after this game is concluded as well. We do not decide that, but the owners do instead. But we'll let you know.
It's a lot to choose from.
There is a lot to choose from. Breaking pitch, perfect, right down the middle. What a break on that curveball. 2-2. We've seen some incredible breaking pitches from some of these hurlers on the mound tonight. I don't know if one of them was better than that one. That had Monica spinning in the box.
Now, it's definitely been a lot of fun to watch tonight, is just the breaking pitches that these pitchers have.
This one misses low. The count now goes full to 3-2. Still nobody out in the inning. Top of the 10th, tied up at 5-5. Thank you again for joining us for the 2017 TCL All-Star Game. Kyle Yeomans alongside my partner, Nick Laupius.
It's been a fun game to watch, fun game to call.
It has been indeed. Here's the runner going. LaHare on the way. Breaking ball called, strike 3. The runner does take second base without a throw, though.
I tell you, that breaking pitch really gets these fans riled up. And
it does.
Love seeing that, especially on a strikeout looking on that type of pitch. Really gets the fans excited, maybe out of their seats.
I feel like maybe some of these Bombers fans that are in attendance, some of the usual season ticket holders that like to heckle throughout the game. And
no, they want to see the West win.
They want to see the West win, yes, and they also... So it looks like a little confusion between the field umpires. Very weird.
Just took a little bit of time to get repositioned there.
Breaking pitch misses low to Halter. There's only 1 out in the inning. Does say 2 on the board.
Another look at that breaking ball, breaking right at the knees and kind of breaking into the zone at the very last second too. It starts outside and somehow finds its way back into the zone last second.
The go-ahead run is sitting at second base, though, in the form of Daniel LaHare. This one's taken low. Chandler Robertson also, by the way, switching around in the lineup. He was in the leadoff hole originally. For some reason, it looks like they've skipped 3 hitters in the bottom of the lineup because Troy Black is on deck. He's also in the 2 hole.
Well, we saw that also with Casey Mack, though. He started off in the 4 position, and didn't he end up somehow towards the
skip
bottom?
3 entire hitters? Here's a hard hit to the shortstop. Gunnar Halter's going to corral it, throw over to first as well in time to retire his own teammate for out number 2. Here's Troy Black. So it is going to be a couple of pinch hitters that are just pinch hitting lower in the lineup, because out comes Jordan Wiley on the on-deck circle to follow Troy Black. Runner does advance to third and is 90 feet away from taking the lead here in the top of the 10th. Unlimited substitutions. You can do some crazy things. Honestly, if he wanted to, Chandler Robertson could turn around and get in the on-deck circle if he really, really wanted to. Instead, it's Troy Black hitting for Dakota Phillips in the 8 hole. Black was originally in the 2 hole. I wonder if Robinson would come back out in the 9 hole. There's a called strike. 1-1. There are so many philosophical questions in this game of baseball. It's been incredibly confusing throughout the entire thing, but it's been a lot of fun to watch.
It's been one of my favorites so far this season. You said a lot of questions tonight that have popped up, really making you think.
Really making you think. You're exactly right. Runner on third. 5-5 is our score. 2 outs in the top of the 10th inning. Breaking pitch misses down low as it's 2-1.
Yeah, but like you said, a lot of things these 2 coaches can do with the unlimited substitutions, shuffle around the lineup. We've seen, I believe.
There's a chopper to second. It's going to be corralled by Antiguez, and the throw to first is in time for out number 3. So the West do their job from the defensive side of things. We head to the bottom of the 10th inning. The final half inning, no matter if the score is tied or not. And the fans are not happy with the fact that this could end in a tie. And apparently no walk-off as well, as we're continuing to get some announcements from the PA. So no matter what, there are going to be 3 outs played in the bottom of this 10th inning here in the TCL All-Star Game. Of course, I assume that if the West does pull out a run here in the bottom of the inning, that we would see a walk-off type of celebration and then continue with 2 more outs.
I could see that, but now we'll see our 20th pitcher of the night.
The 20th pitcher
on the mound.
What did I say? I told you exactly what was happening. Jordan Hackett now in the ball game, the official closer for the Victoria Generals, wearing number 41. And Hackett on the season has been outstanding, coming out of Our Lady of the Lake University.
There we go. You got to say it again.
Yes, I did. The Red River Conference. And Hackett has been a thorn in the heel of Bombers hitters and really TCL hitters, coming out of the bullpen late in ball games all season long. 4 wins, 1 loss. He's tied for the league lead in wins, even out of the bullpen, with a 4.11 ERA. 8 appearances, 5 games started. He has 35 innings pitched. And so far on the season, he has 4 saves as well. So Hackett coming on the mound. trying to finish things off here in the 10th inning with a tie ball game at 5-5. It'd be a disappointing ending to an otherwise brilliant night. Ton of star-studded moments, great opportunities to watch some of the best talent in all of the state of Texas, all of the Southwest region, and, of course, the TCL itself. On display here, Kyle Yeomans alongside Nick Laupius bringing you this final inning of action. Jared Mang, or as the Bombers like to call him, John Cena, up to the plate to lead things off. Mang, in his last at-bat, singled in an RBI, the tying RBI, I should add.
That was right after his almost home run. That was just a little bit foul on the left field side there.
Had the distance, went foul by about 10 feet, and he's going to swing and a miss this changeup way ahead of it. There's strike one, 0-1 now the count.
Yeah, but good opportunity here for the West. They have the middle of their lineup doing a very power-heavy lineup here tonight for the West All-Stars.
This one misses high. It's now 2-1. So Mang hitting from the right side out of New Mexico. He's going to foul this one straight back, 2-2. Now they count to Jared Mang. Mang has shown a glimpse of power here and there for the Bombers. It's actually 1-2. So here's the kick and the deliver. This one's going to pluck Mang, and he'll toss the bat over to first base. So even with 2 strikes on him, Mang gets bailed out with a hit by pitch. And the winning run is on first base. See if there's maybe a sacrifice bunt here. And you don't normally want to see that happen, especially.
And again, not how you want to get on base.
Not at all.
Hey, that's a good way for the West to start off the bottom of the 10th, get the leadoff runner on base. Again, for the middle of this lineup. A lot of power here for the West All-Stars. Runner on first, nobody out. A chance to take the lead tonight. So again, there will be no walk-off celebration. They will play the entirety of the game till the final out this inning. So if the West All-Stars do end up taking the lead here, the game will continue until we reach the 3rd out. 2-0 quickly the count.
Of course, Hackett on the mound. Not going to face any of his own teammates here in this final inning, so he does have that to his advantage. He's faced all of these hitters before, as this one misses outside. 3-0. And just like that, Hackett is in a little bit of trouble. Potentially moving over that runner instead. 3-0 count and a green light. And a big swing from Brady Bell. Josh Aguilar awaits on deck. Aguilar on the evening. He's taking a couple at bats, and here's a walk. So the winning run now moves into scoring position for the West All-Stars. Of course, we are playing all 3 outs here in the bottom of the 10th inning, and a 10-inning affair here in the Western versus Eastern TCL All-Star Game. The West was originally down 5-2. We're able to climb back in it with a 3-run bottom of the 7th inning. There's a big pitch called strike out of the hand of Hackett. Half of the runs scored in tonight's ball game all came in that 7th inning. 2-run top of the 7th, and then a 3-run bottom from each side. And this one misses outside, 1-1. It has been entertaining, to say the least, as it comes to an end. The Western All-Stars looking to pull out a victory here. Aguilar at the plate. This one misses outside, 2-1.
If Aguilar's able to get on base, maybe a single or by way of a walk, have the bases loaded for Thomas Jeffries, I believe, who's on deck, and still be with nobody out.
3-1 now the count as this one misses outside, and it looks like Hackett's going to take a second to regather himself behind the hill out in the middle of the field. Thomas Jeffries, we talked about earlier, had the 2 RBI double. Has had an outstanding night throughout and played some solid defense at first as well. As this one's a flare into shallow left field. It's going to drop. Here comes Jared Mang around third. It's booted. That's going to do it. The Western All-Stars are going to win 6-5. Would be the final score, but there's no walk-off. And it looks like there's going to be a
confusion.
Looks like because there's no walk-off, Josh Aguilar is going to be tagged out. So 1 out in the inning, but the Western All-Stars do win the ball game. They have won it 6-5, the final.
There's a little bit of a
celebration over near the dugout as Aguilar gets a hero's welcome back into that first base cubby of the Western All-Stars, and the first pitch from Jeffries is fouled back. This is a new look for Thomas. I have never seen Thomas Jeffries wearing the pants down in a ball game. He has always had the pants up.
He's a different man since
he's a different man. Cut his hair, cut his beard, shaved it all off, and now he's got the pants down. So the Western All-Stars do win it. The score, if we were in a regular game, would be 6-5. Instead, it's going to be a hard ground ball. Jeffries will be out at first, but another run will come across the score, 7-5. So the Western All-Stars continue to add on here.
Well, a couple of clutch at-bats here in the bottom of the 10th for the West. And Jeffries driving in another run there. And John Grimsley now up to the plate. 2 away, 7-5 right now the score. Just 1 out left. Takes a strike 1 on the inside corner.
Grimsley making a couple plays defensively in the field coming out of the University of Houston. And the Houston Cougar has been held quiet at the plate until just now as he does single into right field. That's his first base hit of the night after striking out 3 times. So good job for Grimsley being able to
That was a hard hit
pull
ball,
that
too.
one across. Exactly, yeah. That was a great hit.
Some solid contact there. Yeah, that's what's great about playing the 10 full innings is, like you talked about, there are pro scouts here in the audience. They're here in the crowd. And you got to give every play your best when that kind of opportunity is in the stands. So a good job by Grimsley putting aside those 3 strikeouts and making solid contact and getting a base hit.
A lot of MLB scouts in attendance. We've talked about it earlier. The Royals, the Yankees, the Mets, Cardinals,
Padres.
Mariners, Padres, all here. And those were just to name a few. Runner goes. Grimsley stealing. It's 0-1, and the swung on and missed. But another. Actually, that's going to be it.
That was 0-2
out number
count.
3. It was an 0-2 count, and that'll do it. The Western All-Stars come away with a unique victory, a walk-off without the walk-off in the bottom of the 10th inning. 7-5 is the final score, and Brock Ward officially 1-0.
Now that's a way to start off your managing debut, or managing career, I should say. 1-0. Congratulations to him, and on a great game tonight. Great pitching, great defense. A little bit of offense mixed in, too.
A little bit of offense, a lot of offense mixed in, even with the pitching being as great as it was. Final score 7-5 here from Nutrabolt Stadium. It does come to an end, and the Western All-Stars come out on top of this one in a tight ball game. They were down 5-2 after the middle of the 7th, or after the top of the 7th inning. Came back, tied it up at 5 apiece, and then took it all the way to the bottom of the 10th inning where they scratched one across. Josh Aguilar officially accredited with the walk-off win, but another RBI does come in after that due to our unique situation in an all-star showcase Thank you again for joining us here on Game On Sports Productions edition of the 2017 TCL All-Star Game. For all of those involved with Bombers baseball broadcast, for our producer Fred Garner, for my partner Nick Laupius, that's a wrap here from Nutrabolt Stadium. The final score, the Western All-Stars come out on top 7-5 in the 2017 TCL and Texas Collegiate League All-Star Game. Thank you again for joining us. I'm Kyle Yeoman signing off. We'll see you next time.